Okay. Yes, they are. Am I okay to talk? I am now. Okay, good. Perfect.
We're not on yet?
Okay.
That's good. Mhm. So Trayvon Soto Johnson, Castlemont High School, head coach. We can talk about that too,
Okay.
some of the coaches.
Good afternoon and welcome to PlayOnSports.com's live coverage of the Oakland section track and field championships. We are at Skyline High School in Oakland, California on a beautiful day here in the Bay Area. George Bliss Field, the site of the Oakland section championships. I'm Jeff Kurtz alongside Michael Cronenwet, our producer today, Finn Prendergast, cameraman today, Hans Webb, and Alex Grant. Michael, as we look at the event today, track is always an exciting event, and the Oakland section couldn't have picked a better day for the weather to cooperate. A light breeze blowing in off the bay, a sunny day, but not too hot for these runners and field event participants. This is going to be a fantastic event over the next few hours here at Skyline High School.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more there, partner. I mean, beautiful day here, beautiful venue. I'm just looking for some great races, and hopefully we have some real tight buzzer beater.
Right at the edge of your seat.
Right on the edge of your seat races. Hopefully no blowouts today.
Well, folks, we've got individual championships on the line in the Oakland section, a team championship on the line, qualification for the state prelims coming up next week down in Fresno, California at Buchanan High School, Veterans Memorial Stadium, the longtime home of the state high school championships in the state of California. But today we're going to be, let's lay the scene for you a little bit at Skyline High School and how the Oakland section is going to run their track and field finals and how we're going to bring them to you live on PlayOnSports.com. We're going to be focusing live events on the track almost exclusively here today. We might get a little bit of high jump for you. We might get a little bit of long jump, but almost exclusively the track events. We'll have highlights up of the field events. That includes the shot put, the discus, the long and triple jump, and the high jump. Next week for you on our website. But today the live event is going to include track, and we're going to start with one of my favorite events, Michael, that usually you see at the end of meets, but Oakland's doing it at the beginning. That's the girls and boys 4x100 meter relay.
Well, why save the best for last when you can just go right at it?
You're
Start
a
off with a bang.
dessert first kind of guy, huh?
I like to go that way. Just nice. Let's start it off right away with the big bang type of races, and let's see what we got.
Well, for the girls 4x100 meter relay, we've got Oakland Tech against Skyline. Oakland Tech is going to trot out Nyaran Buckley, Kanakai Chigamba, Jessica Temple, and Brittany Jenkins. They are your four racers in the 4x100 for Oakland Tech. Oakland Tech coached by Mrs. Gayla Phillips, the Bulldogs. And then Skyline, the host school here today, the Titans, head coach Sean Colas. They are going to bring out Jade Sims, Ebony Wilson, Astaria Harris, and Tiara King. And they will be your four for Skyline. Just two teams of the six teams participating today will be running in the 4x100 for the girls. And the six teams participating, all original members of the Oakland Athletic League, one of the oldest leagues in the state of California. And the Oakland section has expanded a little bit into the charter school arena, but the charter schools this year not fielding track teams, so you will have your traditional six from the OAL.
Correct. And actually, I know just from being in around this area that Oakland Tech Skyline, very, very big rivals. So this should be a real competitive race, this first one, right off the bat. So looking forward to it. I see a couple. It looks like we're starting to get them on the track now.
They're lining up, and the start is going to take place in lanes 4 and 5, which are to our right. The finish line will be to our right as well. A staggered start for the 4x100. And we are set up just about 20 yards to the left of the starting line, folks. We would give you a right to the starting line, but we've got a giant tree in the way. We don't want, and a pole. So that would impede the last 5 yards of the race and inhibit your view. So we're doing it a little bit differently here today as they're getting set up. for the girls 4x100 to be followed by the boys 4x100 meter relay here in the Oakland section.
And also to note that if either team gets under 50.50 milliseconds, I believe, they qualify for the state final. So interesting to note, a little different than most sections here, but Oakland being its own athletic league and its own section, automatically qualify for state if they hit these marks. So we'll keep you posted and tell you which teams make it, which don't.
That is the signal for the runners to get ready. Oakland Tech in lane 4, they are in the purple. Skyline, lane 5, in the red.
So we have Buckley and Sims starting it out, so it should be interesting to see who gets the early advantage here.
Nyaren Buckley and Jade Sims.
Kind of hidden behind this tree here.
At least from our vantage point.
But I know we have it on camera, so you viewers at home can definitely see what we don't see right now.
And we're away. And a clean start. And across the stagger, nice job by Oakland Tech making up a little bit of ground around the first curve.
And now it's even dead heat. Now Tech starting to pull away a little bit. Has a slight lead, I should say, right now.
Nice job by Astaria Harris, though, on this second leg, keeping pace with Jessica Temple. And then around the final turn to the home stretch, and Oakland Tech really stretching this one out right now, Michael. Great third leg here by the Bulldogs. And Oakland Tech is going to take this one going away where it's all about the time now. 44-45 to the finish line, looking for a 50.5.
And they got
and
it.
A 49.8, an official time right there, as coming in at about 54. They're going to say 49.64 on the official finish for Oakland Tech as they qualify for state and win the title in girls division 1, or excuse me, girls 4x100. Skyline finishes with a 53.98, Oakland Tech a 49.64.
And I think what was the difference there was that third link that just absolutely blew it out for Oakland Tech and made this race not as close as it was early on, was that third leg, and that was, this is a fun name.
Kanakai Chigamba.
Great name.
Yes, that is a fantastic name for a sprinter. She took that around the turn and created a big lead for Oakland Tech.
And by the time Brittany Jenkins got it, it was just put it away. Do the finishing touches on that race.
The boys 4x100 up next. Girls 1,600 meter run to follow. Boys are going to be represented by Castlemont, McClymans, and Skyline in lanes 3, 4, and 5 respectively. Stephen Garrett, Thomas Logwood, David Dawes, and Alden Nelson are your forerunners for the Castlemont Knights. McClyman sending out Levon Washington, Kenyatta Jackson, Lewis White, and Levance Warren running the anchor. And then Skyline's going to go with Leland Chin, Tyrone Campbell, Davey Rabinales, and Chiming Chin. They are in lane 5. Again, Skyline in the red, McClyman's in the black, and then Castlemont
it's going to be in the
purple. And again, Castlemont in lane 3, McClyman's in 4, Skyline in 5. They are starting to our right-hand side in lanes 3, 4, and 5. Castlemont on that inside.
And to note, the state meet qualifier would be 43.5, but interesting enough, 41.5 is actually the section record set by Skyline in 2010. So should be a close race. It should be interesting. See if we have maybe even a new section title, since that is a very close mark for the state qualifier. So we'll see.
We have not been immune to new records being set in our coverage up here, not necessarily in the Oakland section, but in the North Coast section in swimming last weekend. 3 swimmers broke the 100-meter breaststroke record that was originally held by Brendan Hansen of Olympic fame. In the North Coast section, a new national record in the breaststroke. The top 3 all broke it, and that was a pretty phenomenal sprint to the finish in the breaststroke. I know we're way out of the pool here and on the track, but you never know what you're going to see at any of these events, and it'd be great to have a new meet record taking place. Skyline, again, as Michael mentioned, the current meet record holder with a 41.54 back in 2010.
And no, interesting to note, Skyline will have the advantage here today, just being on their home track. They're used to it. They know. I mean, I'm sure all these other Oakland schools have been here before multiple times, but it's nothing like when you practice on it every day and you're on it every day and you're used to it and all that. So it'll be interesting to note that first race didn't go Skyline's way in terms of the results, but keep an eye on that at home to see how Skyline responds being on their home turf, I should say.
Well, we've got a moment, and they're getting ready for the 4x100. We've got the high jump taking place to our right as well. We'll give you some video of that while we're waiting for the start of the 4x100. We're waiting for the official word from all four corners here to make sure that we're all set and ready to go. As we've got
People
racers on the track and people still getting themselves set.
Still filing in. It looks about 50% full. Much more fans to the left than our right, but most of the teams are over here. As we got the Castlemont and Oakland High tents set up in front of us. But good turnout. Good turnout to support these young athletes.
Just waiting to see. Okay, we were down to McClymon's runner on the first turn, but he's heading back to his spot. That looks like that might be Kenyatta Jackson, who's running the two-leg. And he's getting back into ready position, and there's the whistle. Letting the runners know to get set. Runners again to our right. This is the boys 4x100, our second race of the afternoon.
So starting this first leg for Castlemont, it's going to be Stephen Garrett, McClymon's Levon Washington, and for Skyline, Leland Chin. So we'll see how these three runners get the lead and see who has the nice early start for all three schools.
Castlemont in lane 3, McClymon's in lane 4, Skyline in 5. And we're off. And look at McClymon's. What an opening for Washington. Wow. That was a great pace around that first turn, Michael.
That was amazing. Just absolutely. The other runners are just passing them now, just that far ahead.
McClymon's through the second pass at 22. A little bit off the meet record, but certainly within range of the state qualifier. And now it's all up to the anchor, Levance Warren, to get on his horse.
They drop, mess the baton, but can they make it up here and still make the state?
Well, they're going to win this.
They're going to have a little penalty, I think, though.
44. Boy, they were swimming there. They were going pretty until that last turn, and the pass is so critical and a little bit of a bobble. And if it hits the ground, you're disqualified. I didn't catch and see if that was actually the case.
I'm not sure if it hit the ground either, but the exchange between Lewis White and Levance Warren was not crisp at all, and it cost them, it looked like, for a state and even an Oakland section, because the way they were flying, it looked like early on there with that great start by Levon Washington that this was going to be cruising to the state, but.
And off by 1 second, Michael. 44.51 is the time for McClymon's, who wins. 45.86 for Castlemont and 46.13 for Skyline.
Skyline got the 45.86. Castlemont.
Oh, excuse me.
Got
Correct. Yes.
46 coming in third. 46.13. So
nice catch.
Kind of a downer for the McClymon's team. I mean, you got to feel like, they still win the race, which is still, in the end, that's what you want. But
and
the way they were flying,
yeah,
the way they were flying around that first and second, it looked like this was an easy win. And even the third until the handoff there at the end.
The baton pass is so crucial on the 4x100, and the U.S. track team felt that at a couple Olympics ago when they were favored to win and dropped the baton, and Jamaica took it. And U.S. has had trouble against Jamaica ever since. Of course, when you've got a guy named Usain Bolt running your anchor leg, that's going to be a tough one to overcome.
Try to get as big a lead as you can, and hopefully he has a cold or something that day. That's the only way they'll stop him. But it's good to see also the McClymonds relay team there getting together about midfield and kind of talking it out. And it seems like everyone's still cool with it, so it's good to see that. No one getting yelled at or chewed out, so good to see.
We've got the girls 1600 coming up, and the three Skyline representatives in this race are on the track. Kathy Lien wearing number 985, Vivian Mack number 988, and Lauren Yee number 373. Caitlin Johnke was scheduled for Oakland Tech, though she is not on the track right now, and she could be electing to forego this particular race. And that looks to be the case. So this is going to be a lot of points for Skyline, Michael, and on the waterfall start, we are underway, and it's just a function of who for Skyline is going to get 1, 2, and 3. 4 laps in the 1600. They will be finishing to our right-hand side.
Well, it looks like so far that's in lane 1. It looks like Kathy Lien is getting the big early lead, but in a race like this, you got to pace yourself. Timing and pace is everything because you don't need the sprint. You don't, like we just saw with the 4x100. You don't need that. This is a marathon, you know, the old tortoise and the hare.
Exactly. Exactly. And you often will have the rabbit who will get out early and take the pack with them, and not much of a pack when you're only running with 3, but right now, 1 well out in front.
But, you know, also going back to it, you know, these girls are all practicing against each other. You know, they all know each other. They know what the tendencies are and what's the speed on each of them. So they probably know already in their heads who's going to favorite here and who's going to come in second.
That is Kathy Lien in first place right now. We'll get her split time on the first run through. And unofficially her splits at 1:19.
Good pace.
Then Vivian Mack slightly ahead of Lauren Yee. Mack's split time about 1:31. The meet record is 5:20.64, set in 2003 by Diana Choi. You need a 5:25 flat to qualify for the state meet in the girls 1600. Boys 1600 meter to follow this one.
It's interesting to note a lot of these state qualifying marks are, you know, about 4 or 5 seconds away from the Oakland City record right now. So it's interesting to note how it's how they exactly make that up, you know, in terms of, I know you have to qualify with a certain mark, but it seems interesting that a lot of these marks are almost dead even with the city championship records.
Well, Lien way out in front right now. She's got a good, dare we say, about 110 meters right now on second place Vivian Mack. So I hate to call it at the second lap mark, but barring some kind of upset here or Lien hurting her leg or something along that line, you'd think she's going to cruise to a championship. But then the second question is she going to qualify for the state, and is there a new meet record on the line? Her split here, 2:45 unofficially. She's looking at about a 5:30 pace, so she's got to make up about 5 seconds to qualify here for the state.
Maybe she's holding it all in for that last lap. As second and third are neck and neck, that would be Yee and Mack.
Mack in the lead currently over Yee for that second spot.
Yee's right behind her, so I mean, they are right there as you see in your camera.
Mack's split is approximately 3:15, just shy of 3:16. Meanwhile, as we've got an eye on our leader, Kathy Lien, she is
opening it up.
Yeah, more than halfway through this third lap. And she's going to get to this last stretch and know that she's got to run a pretty fast last 400, Michael, to qualify for state in Fresno.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like right now, Jeff, that, you know, if she's cruising right now, she has it on cruise control. But let's see if this last lap she can really turn it on and put on the extra jets.
You know, and then you wonder, where do you start your kick and how much do you have left in the tank at that point?
Well, right away from the start, she just put it on as her two teammates were trying to go as fast as they could, but now it's starting to open up a little bit. It looks like Mack's starting to pull away from Yee a little bit more here.
Here comes Leanne, that final lap. She's looking at about a 4:17 on that split there, so she needs 1:08. She's got to make up 9 seconds better than her previous lap in order to qualify for state at 5:25.
Let's see what she has left in the tank here. Now it looks like she's starting to pick up her pace a little bit more.
Well, and, you know, usually you've got your coach yelling out your split not only at the finish line for every lap you're doing, but also somewhere along the course. And we've got it going on right here. Either one of your teammates or your coach who's actually meeting you at about the halfway point and letting you know where you are at as far as your split time so you know what you need to get to qualify.
Also good encouragement words. Tell them to just keep going. You're almost there.
Leanne needs she's got about 22 seconds to cover this last 200, and that is going to be tough to do.
She's going to have fill out the tank right now.
Yeah.
As it's 5:15 now.
So Leanne is going to win this race, but she will be short of qualifying for state as we've passed that 5:25 cutoff point. But a nice race for Kathy Leanne, a dominating performance as she is going to finish almost 3/4 of a lap ahead of Vivian Mack, who's currently in second place and has opened up about a 40-yard lead on Lauren Yee. Nice race by Leanne. She's coming in. And an unofficial time of about 5:50. 5:50.82 for Kathy Leanne.
And as Mack is now rounding the final turn here with Yee about, it looks about 40, 50 yards behind.
You can hear a little bit of the breeze here in our mics as
kicking up a little bit.
A cross breeze. It's at the back of the runners on the home stretch, which is helpful, but you're running into the teeth of it, maybe 5-10 miles an hour going down the back stretch. Here comes Yee.
All right, I think that's Mack here.
Or excuse me, Mack. I apologize. Yee is coming down the last turn.
So Vivian Mack's going to finish. Well, they took the board down. 5:50 for Kathy Leanne, unofficial.
6:47.34
for Vivian Mack, and now her teammates are giving her the last encouragement to finish.
Lauren Yee from some of the boys' 1,600-meter Skyline runners who are going to be on the track next year in just a moment. And Lauren Yee finishes, and her time, 7:06.94. So that is your 1, 2, 3, Kathy Leanne, Vivian Mack, Lauren Yee for the girls' 1,600 meter. Now we got the boys' 1,600 meter, and it's going to be a lot more crowded out there on the track right now. We've got 13 runners. Nathaniel Tessife from Oakland, Adam Gardier from Oakland Tech in lane 2, Andy Hahn from Skyline lane 3, Neil Wessling in lane 4, also from Skyline. Oscar Flores from Castlemont in lane 5. Jose Barona from Skyline in lane 6. Richard Luck from Oakland in lane 7. Luis Almendarez from Oakland in lane 8. Jeremy Brooks from Castlemont in lane 9. Anthony Barron in lane 10 from McClymonds. Terrence Perrier from Oakland Tech in lane 11. Ishak Mohammed in lane 12. He's from McClymonds as well. And Simon Filipenko from Oakland Tech in lane 13. Now we say lane 13, there isn't a 13 per se, but you line up 1 to 13 across the track, and a waterfall starts, so as quickly as you can get to the inside. And we're off. And this one, because we're going to have a little bit more congestion, a little more traffic out there, Michael, we might see a more technically run race, but out with an early start.
Anthony Barron from McClymonds has the
right.
early lead. All close to now, it looks like Oakland runner. We have a couple of them, so
it might be Nathaniel Tessife, who is in that second spot.
And then
I did get a chance to speak to him a little bit before the event.
I'm sure he was ready.
Yes, he was.
Motivated for this.
He was very helpful on all the pronunciations for his school, which is always a great thing. First lap, the section record, which was set in 2011 by Cameron Trin, is 4:22.18. To qualify for the state meet in the from the Oakland Athletic League, the Oakland section, you need a 4:30. And here comes Tessife, who is pulled in front of Barron, and a first lap time of unofficially 107.5 as we've strung it out here. Last runner coming in at 1:15, so we have an 8-second differential between first and 13th right now, and we're on lap 2. Following this, we've got the girls' 100-meter hurdles. You may have seen some of the hurdles already being set up on the track. We've got 4 runners currently scheduled for that in lanes 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that'll be the girls' 100-meter and then the boys' 110 to follow the boys' 1,600-meter run.
And as you see in your picture, Skyline and some of the other hurdlers are starting to warm up a little bit. You'll see on the bottom of the football field here at Skyline between the 20 and the 30-yard lines.
Meanwhile, Tessife with about a 5-yard lead right now as we come down the home stretch in lap 2, and we're at the 2:05 mark at this stage.
And it looks like Barron from McClymonds is starting to fade away a little bit. He had a nice early lead to start, but now Barron's dropped now down into 6th place.
Simon Filipenko is in 2nd place right now out of Oakland Tech. He's trailing Tessife. We're at the 2:31 mark, about midway. Here comes the rest of the pack. We are spread out pretty far here. It is about a 100-meter stagger from 1st to 13th at this point. We're on lap 3.
Completely opposite from the last one we just saw, where you only had 3 racers from the same school. Now we have 13 from basically every school here except for Fremont High, I believe. Yep. And quite more in terms of just group and pack. So
it is Tessife, Filipenko from Oakland Tech, and then Andy Hahn is in 3rd place from Skyline. Neil Wessling, his teammate, following in 4th.
Looks like a Casamont runner there in 2nd. Looking for a number on this.
Oh, you've got that as Oscar Flores? I had it as Filipenko, but I could have missed it on the first go-around.
Might have been Oakland Tech. Oakland Tech and Casamont are both in the purple. Yeah, that's a Tech. That would be Filipenko.
That is Filipenko. Hahn is starting to get a little bit closer. That's the 3rd lap. It's 3:41 for Tessife right now. So he needs to run a really fast final lap to qualify for state if he's able to hang on, as Filipenko is starting to make a move, and he's closed within about 3 or 4 yards. And here comes Hahn a little bit from the back in that 3rd spot, and he's trying to make up a little bit of ground. Wessling in 4th still. We are at the same 1, 2, 3, 4, though Tessife looks like he's tiring a little bit, and up is Filipenko is looking to start his kick now, and he is blown by Tessife. Here comes Hahn as well. Nice job by Filipenko. He started out in the last spot, furthest out on the track, and he is in 1st place and is coming on strong here on this final leg.
See if he can hold on to it, as Hahn's starting to kick it into another gear too.
Hahn's looking to pass Tessife as well. Filipenko is bringing it home. What a race by Simon Filipenko. Filipenko is your Oakland section champion, and Hahn is going to be in 2nd.
It looks like the clock went down, some malfunction, so we will bring you the time when we get it.
As quickly as we can. They're trying to get that. They left us at the last split time at 3:43. Here comes Neil Wessling. He will finish in 4th place.
And another.
This looks like, this is Terrence Perrier. It is. Coming up on the outside, though, is Oscar Flores. And Flores.
And we got
and Perrier. I think Perrier might have caught him at the tape.
As the wind's kicking up a little bit more.
Rest of the runners finishing up.
As Barron's going to look back. Jose Barron from, I believe, Jose Barron here from McClymonds.
Anthony Barron.
Anthony Barron.
And there we are. Here are our times starting to come up on the board. So they've got them in the 7th and 8th. We'll get the official time for all of our runners.
Anthony Barron's going to look back and kick himself on this one, as he had a nice lead early on and started off strong and just kind of faded there right around the second to third lap. So he's going to look
Oh,
back at
excuse
this.
me. It was Adam Gardier from Oakland Tech, so we were giving it to Filipenko, and it's Gardier. So our apologies, folks. Adam Gardier, congratulations. He wins the race. 9:58 is his number, and Filipenko 9:57. And with all the movement, it was hard to see. My apologies, folks. And credit where credit is due, Adam Gardier. But, Simon, we gave you a lot of airtime, and maybe buy Adam lunch next week at school. Not a bad way to go. So Adam Gardier is your winner. Nice race bar, Gardier. He was rated second in the race behind Tessafe, and he comes in with a time of 4:54.79. And does not qualify for a state, but wins the title in the Oakland section. And now we move to the girls' 100-meter hurdles.
And it looks like a Skyline runner here walking across the football field looks to be either injured or exhausted as he's crossing the 50 right now.
Well, that probably was Andy Hahn, and he had a very, very good race.
But he looks just couldn't even stand on by his own 2 feet. So
we'll see if he's going to be able to run later on, as Hahn finished in second at 5 minutes .03, and Nathaniel finished at 5:02.53. So it is a Gardier 1, Hahn 2, Tessafe 3 race. And Filipenko with a lot of love from the broadcast booth on that one.
Well, when you got a name like Filipenko, it's just we want to say it so
rolls
much.
Off the tongue. But Adam Gardier is your winner.
But that was a strong race, as the Oakland runner, which was Tessafe, pretty much led the entire way, and then that final turn, right around about the 200 yards out, just lost it, and in came Gardier for the win. So good race there.
Andy Hahn is scheduled to run that 3,200 meter, Michael, later on, one of the latter races in the day. So he's got a little bit of recovery time. But boy, you do that and you give it your all. We'll see if he's able to run as you go from 1,600 to 32 and from 4 laps to 8. But now we're going to look at the girls' 100 meter hurdles, to be followed by the boys' 110. Then we turn our attention to the 400 meter. In the girls' 100 meter, we've got 4 runners scheduled. Autumn Randall from Oakland Tech will be in lane 3. Kristen Robinson from Skyline in lane 4. Haidia Burgess from Skyline in lane 5. And Mellum Demmel from Oakland Tech in lane 6. Now we're still getting the hurdles all laid out here, as we've got, unless they're just leaving 2, we may only have 2 runners for this particular race. We had 4 originally scheduled. Those students can scratch if they choose to, and
yeah, it looks like
not
we just
participate.
Have a Skyline runner. Oh, there we go.
All right, we're getting in. Okay, there we go. We'll make sure we get all our lanes in, folks.
I guess they were waiting for the 1,600 to finish before they got all the hurdles, which is definitely safe. There we go. We're adding some lane hurdles now.
And the girls 100, and the hurdles are never an easy race. And for me personally, and doing track at the high school level, I stayed away from anything I had to jump over on my way to a finish line.
You know,
it's hard enough.
Playing football, playing baseball, I actually threw shot put and discus. I too agree with you there, yeah. Jeff. It was just not my thing. It's like skateboarding. Why do I want to jump over something and run the risk of getting hurt already? I wasn't hurt already playing football, so.
It's hard enough to run and run fast, and then they're going to throw up a bunch of obstacles you got to jump over at the same time. So more power to Randall, Robinson, Burgess, and Demmel, who are in this championship. The record dating back to 1982, held by Natalie Spinks, 14.01. To qualify for state, 16.2. So a full 2+ seconds. Spinks was flying in 1982.
I'd like to say I was around during that time, but I was not even born yet.
Well, the air was thinner in 82, so you usually could go a little bit faster.
more aerodynamic.
That's right, at the time.
Attire and hairstyles back then.
Climate change was not as
flat
big
tops.
an issue, so you could just really speed along over all those hurdles.
No smog. And it looks like actually we're going to have only 3 racers, as there's only 3 hurdles in the 3 lanes set up. So it looks like we have another scratch of some type. Not
Let's
sure.
see if we can get that all nailed down for you here, folks, as we are
Maybe they're
getting
set.
set.
Well, I see 2 Skyline runners, and it looks like we only have 3 starting. So I see 2 Skyline, and I see
Well, let's see. It looks
a
like
Tech. Well, we got 1 Tech
they
runner.
may be adding. They're adding a 4th right now. So
Okay,
we've got,
so now they're adding. Okay.
So they were just confirming that everyone was going to be in. And we might, let's see, so we've got in lane 3 again, that's Autumn Randall. So she is to your right as you're watching on the screen, folks. Then we go to Kristen Robinson in lane 4 from Skyline and her teammate Hydea Burgess in lane 5. And then down in lane 6,
She's
also
sitting
from
down
Oakland
there.
Tech, yeah,
That's what I
sitting
see.
down. If you could barely see her on the lower portion of your screen, it'll be Mellum Demmel.
The old rivals at it yet again, Skyline and Oakland Tech, the heated rivals.
That's right.
They will
Oakland
be running again.
Oakland Tech beating Skyline in the girls 4x100. You're accumulating points to the team championship, so Skyline certainly well represented so far, even though they finished second in the girls 4x100 and second of 3 in the boys 4x100, and then second in the 1600 meter. They swept the girls 1600 meter, so we don't have the official team totals here in the broadcast booth yet, but you got to think Skyline out to that early lead.
Yes. Well, it also helped, too, with that, as we were talking, the 1600 where the Oakland Tech lone runner scratched, so it was just 3 Skylines running. So it's always exciting, though, hurdles. You got fast pace and jumping over stuff, so can't complain here.
You can't go wrong with that combo. Folks, want to let you know that playonsports.com is available to you on social media, of course, like everything else these days. You can follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our Twitter feed, and check out all of our great highlights on YouTube. Follow the high school action you see every week right here on your destination for high school sports, playonsports.com.
It looks like we're getting ready to go here. As the runners are getting ready, they're in their stance. And we're ready.
And we're off. The girls 100 meter and a nice break by Kristen Robinson. And this looks like it's going to be a 1-2 Skyline finish. Robinson across.
Burgess in second.
And then coming in third will be Autumn Randall, and we'll get our official times as Mellum Demmel comes in fourth, a 14.36 for Robinson, which qualifies her for state and just off, Michael, the section record by .35.
I think, though, Autumn will, or correction, Kristen will still enjoy that state meet, so she'll probably be bummed that she just missed the section record, but in the end, yeah, you still go to state, so get your chance to, you know, why take the Oakland record when you can go take the state of California record, you know?
It only gets higher from here, I can tell you that.
Well, that was a great, and now Robinson's starting to celebrate as we actually, here's a rarity. You got the Skyline cheerleading squad here in the crowd.
Well, that's fantastic. So Kristen Robinson, a 14.36 for Skyline. Hydea Burgess, 16.87 in second place. Autumn Randall from Oakland Tech, 20.56 in third. And Mellum Demmel, 21.81 in fourth. And now the boys' 110-meter hurdles. And we've got 5 participants in this one. Jacob Liu is in lane 2. He is from Skyline. Bomani Bassett from McClymonds is in lane 3. Chris Russell from Skyline in lane 4. Anthony White from McClymonds in lane 5. And Kenneth Eve from Skyline in lane 6. So I can tell you that Skyline's going to clean up on some more points here, Michael, and only Skyline and McClymonds are going to benefit on this particular race.
And it's interesting to note, A lot of times in events like track and swimming, you know, when you just throw more runners and more swimmers into events, more likely than not, you're going to win the event and the meet because just by sheer numbers alone. As we saw, actually, we were doing a broadcast, a swimming event in the city of San Francisco, and Lowell High just kept throwing people in the pool. I mean, I thought they were recruiting there for a while, just picking people out of the crowd. But when you have the more numbers, and that's a testament to the program at Lowell Swimming and also at Skyline Track, that you know it's can't complain. You know, if they are gonna put runners in who can qualify and do well, more power to them.
There are certain events, Michael, that you attend in life where if you get called out of the crowd to participate, not so bad. The half-court shot at a basketball game, throw out the first pitch at a baseball game. Jump in and swim 50 meters at a swimming pool, maybe not so much.
You know,
jump over some hurdles at a track meet, I don't think so.
You know, I don't know. Maybe a 500 swimming relay. You know, maybe 500 yards. That should be fun. But as we're getting ready, it looks like we're having a slight delay here. But just remember also that this event and any other event we do here at Play On Sports will be on YouTube following the event, of course. So give it about 2 to 3 days, business days, and we will have it up YouTube and ready to go. So just remember, go to YouTube, and that's Play On Networks, youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. So check it out. It's a great site, and it's a great thing going on. So you can see all your high school action there, and also, of course, at PlayOnSports.com.
That's right. We are live on both PlayOnSports.com and YouTube. So if you want to get it on your mobile device, maybe you're heading out in a little bit, you can go ahead and go to our YouTube channel, as Michael just mentioned, and check out our event there and watch it available on demand. We're going to get a quick look over at the high jump area. I'm not quite sure what we're set at there at this particular point in time. We'll give you the participants in the high jump.
That was from McClymonds High there.
So it's either Anthony White or Ishaq Muhammad in the boys' high jump. Chiming Chin, Andrew Roselle, David Uyong, and Ibrahim Muhammad. Also the other participants. That could be Ibrahim Muhammad as well. 3 participants from McClymonds in the high jump.
And as I'm looking out in the crowd, I see we have a contingent. We got sports authorities in the house today, passing out some information.
A state sponsor of high school athletic events.
Good to see you there.
And out in every section, as we're getting the last bit of hurdles set up for the boys 110, girls and boys 400 meter to follow. And we've just got a couple more hurdles that need to be set, and then we're ready to go. So again, for the boys 110-meter hurdles, Jacob Liu in lane 2, Bomani Bassett from McClymonds in lane 3, Chris Russell from Skyline in lane 4, Anthony White from McClymonds in lane 5, and Kenneth Eve
and actually
from Skyline in lane 6.
And as I look out, actually, I was just told that a tragic event going on right now is one of the coaches, we're not sure which high school and who yet, but one of the coaches got hit by a discus. So now we have the paramedics on the scene to go check out. Hopefully everything's okay, and that's in our shot put area here at Skyline High.
Boy, you got to be so careful at some of these events. That's why a lot of schools, and you don't see it here today, got rid of the javelin. I mean, because of instances like that, you've just got to be very careful at a track meet, especially with the throwing events.
You just have so much going on that sometimes you lose track, and maybe you look down, maybe you just for a split second, and you get hit. So hopefully everything's okay. Luckily, we got paramedics here on the scene right away, so hopefully that individual will be okay. And as we look, I believe still we're going to go with the race. We're not going to wait since it's on the far side. So right now it's
so again, Lou, Bassett, Russell, White, Eve. That's Skyline, McClymonds, Skyline, McClymonds, Skyline. And we have all of our hurdles set. And now the runners are entering the blocks. This is the boys 110-meter hurdles.
All right.
And the record is 14.01, set in 1999 by Charles Ryan. You need to get a 15.5 to qualify for state. So again, 14.01, the section record. 15.5 is the qualifier.
We are ready to go.
And there go the runners. And right there in the middle, Chris Russell, an early lead, but coming up on the outside, Anthony White. Russell and White down the stretch.
Oh,
and Russell falls. White is going to take it. An unofficial time of 16. Let's see what we get as Jacob Liu comes in last. Unfortunate for Russell, who had a great pace going, but it's White
takes it with
16.19.
So just short of state. As his team's there to support him. Good to see from the Skyline track team as they all run down there to support their hurdler, as he must be frustrated as he had it. He was, you know, not quite state time level, but he had it in the race. He was ahead. He was going toe-to-toe with the individual.
With Anthony White.
With White from McClymonds. And just at third hurdle, got him.
From the end, that's right.
The end here.
It's so tough with your lead leg. If your steps aren't accurate between hurdles, then.
Well, also you got to figure, you know, you hear them, you see both, you know, your competition on either side. It's very distracting. As you're jumping over, maybe you catch out of the corner of your eye, their foot, and it might just distract you enough to not quite leap high enough and unfortunately fall down there.
Well, that will not be the final time we see the hurdles. We'll have the girls and boys 300-meter hurdles later on in the meet. Right now we're going to be doing the girls and boys 400 meters. The girls will be up first.
Got a slew of runners here.
That's right.
Page continues.
And it looks like we're staggered into a couple of different heats. So you'll have a cumulative effect here in the finals where we won't necessarily know who won the race until both heats are complete.
And it looks like we'll have a little break here as they're taking down the hurdles. You know, going to track meets, you know, the one thing I don't see too much anymore, and I'm just really disappointed, is pole vaulting. Pole vaulting is one of those sports, I mean, just you got someone running and he puts the pole into the dirt and jumps up over a high, over 9 feet for some good high schooler. So interesting to know. Also to note, my cousin was a pole vaulter in high school. Maybe I'm just a little biased in that regard, but
pole vaulters are a different breed. You really have
to
be of a different mindset to run with a pole down a track and then launch yourself over a bar way up in the air. That is a difficult thing to do, and they don't have the pole vault here at the Oakland section, but they do in some of the other sections. And we were covering track in other sections around the state this weekend as well. The northern section, the North Coast, later on this week, in addition to the Central Coast section. Central section action was last week. San Francisco section later on this week. So we've got wall-to-wall track and field, folks. In fact, all kinds of spring sports. Softball tomorrow. In fact, we've got the Trans-Bay Softball Championships, Game 2, taking place today between Oakland Tech and Lowell. That's at San Francisco State and is underway. I invite you to go to playonsports.com, and if you go on to California and you want to catch some of that action or throw up another window on your screen and check out the Trans-Bay Softball Championships, Game 2 out of 3. While you're also watching the track championships, why not? Multi-screen it, folks. And
as we speak about multiple sports, I see a trio here from the McClymonds football team here today. They had a successful season the past one, going to the state championship game, losing to, I believe it was Central Catholic out of Modesto.
That's right, in the regional final. Yep.
In the regional. So
in the Northern Regionals. And then Central Catholic went on to win the state championship for football.
So if you're going to lose, you might as well lose the state champ.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, no. I mean, Central Catholic was a juggernaut.
But good to see that you got across some football to track and field. And you see that a lot, actually. I mean, you know, the more skilled and faster positions, your running backs, your wide receivers, and even sometimes your quarterbacks, they'll be in the hundreds. And your linemen, D-line, don't really want to see them in 100. That will not be a state record. But they're usually your shot put and disc. And sometimes you got that mix, maybe a linebacker-sized kid. I know actually a kid out of Kennedy of Richmond. I'm lost his name off the top of my head, but is setting records there for going to Cal on a scholarship for football. Defensive end, though. It's one of those hybrids. That's what it seems to be like nowadays.
Well, as we take a look at the girls' 400 meter, Michael, and they're still just wrapping up from the hurdles. It's Mariana Mendez and Fatima Andrade who are supposed to run the first heat. So just 2. And then 6 scheduled to run in heat 2. And it's a cumulative effect. They're bringing the blocks all the way down from the hurdle end to the 400 meter end. It looks like, I don't know, we may only have one runner in heat 1, and that's going to be really difficult. It's tough to run. I mean, it's better. You tend to run faster when you're chasing someone or trying to keep someone from passing you as opposed to running by yourself. So that does not favor our first heat here if it's only one runner.
Though, to be honest, I guess that would be Skyline High. Skyline High's track team has 2 different colors. They have the red and the white, and then they also have this black and red, so it's a little hard to see. So at times it almost looks like McClymon's runners on the track, but it's actually Skyline, so that will be Mendez who's down there now. So we're waiting for Andrade. Hopefully she races as well. So we shall see.
Folks, you're following the action from Oakland Track and Field at Skyline High School. And what a gorgeous day here in the Bay Area. Not too hot, not too cool. A light breeze. It's been on and off.
And as you hear the ambulance arriving, I guess the fire truck got there first. So.
And again, that was one of the coaches over, and we aren't sure which school, and we'll try to get that information for you a little bit later on. But one of the coaches was hit during the discus throw, and so.
And that'll probably also cause a delay anyways because they're going to need to use the whole track. But obviously safety first and get the injured individual out.
That's right. So that's probably why we're going to have a holdup in the 400. So that just causes everyone to wait a little bit longer, and as a runner, you've got to adjust and handle that delay such that you're still mentally focused when your race comes up.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, but that's just setting you up for the future and for down the line where you got to be ready for anything. So hopefully this doesn't affect the runners too much, but as we're still waiting, I'm still not quite seeing Andrade yet. Maybe Andrade is waiting for the ambulance and everything to get done first. But right now I just see 2 Skyline runners down here at the starting end.
Well, we'll keep it right here for just a moment, Michael, and see if we're going to have the race take place or if there's going to be a delay as they bring the ambulance out. I don't know if that's...
Actually, looking at it, it looks like actually Andrade might be down there because I'm seeing 981, the runner from Skyline in white, and that's going to be Mendez. And from here, it's hard to see. She's stretching right now, but I think that might be...
938.
Might be. Though I'm seeing most of the other Oakland High uniforms as the blue. So we shall see. Sometimes, too, some of the runners, better runners here, they'll have their own special. Maybe the team uniform is just a little too loose. So sometimes they like to get that special either go to a local sporting goods store or order it online and get a specialty made outfit just for them. But it looks like those are all Skyline down there. So Mendez is down there, still looking for Andrade. But
and they're getting the blocks in place. So again, we've experienced a bit of a delay as the meet officials determining if we are okay to run the 400 or if there is going to be a wait. Again, one of the coaches was hit with a discus, and so an ambulance has been summoned.
though from what I heard, it was he was hit in the head and he had a cut. So I don't know if he's already walked down there and met him, because I don't see the gurney, and I see a group on the hill there. I don't know if those are spectators or is it somebody else. But as we're waiting, yeah, it looks like he was originally down there near the shot put, and it got moved. So
And that's to our far left corner.
correct. And it looks like we have one of our cameramen down there. I'm trying to see who.
Alex Grant is doing that for highlights. Obviously, we won't put that particular highlight up on the website, but
we'll have more information as it's coming along, so stay tuned.
well, folks, why don't we take a quick break here on PlayOnSports.com, and then we'll come back with the girls' 400-meter run in a few moments as quickly as we can. You are at the Oakland Track and Field Championships from Skyline High School, right here on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're going to try to dictate to you what you're going to do on both offense and defense. We're going to come at you.
One shot at this.
Now it's time to put the hats on and go get some work done.
So they're all going to look to make a statement early.
Match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're going to try to dictate to you what you're going to do on both offense and defense. We're going to come at you.
One shot at this.
Now it's time to put the hats on and go get some work done.
So they're all going to look to make a statement early.
Back here on PlayOnSports.com, Jeff Kurtz and Michael Cronenwet. We are at the Oakland Track and Field Championships. We had a bit of a delay, a little bit more information coming in. From that delay, one of the coaches was hit. It wasn't by a discus, it was by a shot put and got hit in the head. So even worse there, the shot put. I don't know if, that's a very, very heavy object, folks, and we'll try to get you an update, but it looks like that area has been cleared and the coach is on his way for medical treatment. So, boy, it makes the phrase heads up be all the more appropriate when you're around the shot put area or the discus area.
And being a former thrower at both discus and shot put, two items I would not want to take off the head. I can tell you that. Those are real dangerous. That was the one thing they always taught us there at my alma mater at NCNL, was never turn your back to a discus and shot put. Always pay attention to it. So Unfortunately, we have an accident today, but, you know, they're in the right care, and it looks like the ambulance is off, so I believe the individual will be fine, hopefully. And it looks like Andrade has made it onto the course and the track, so she's in lane 3.
Now you have the option in the 400 to either go out of the blocks or go from a standing start. So we will see.
So this is the two-person race. Mendez from Skyline, Andrade from Oakland High. As from our vantage point, we see Andrade waiting, and I'm sure Mendez is around the corner, ready to go. And we're off. Actually, it looks like
We're going to add 3 into this race. I didn't catch who the third runner is. But this is 1 lap. The section record is 55.53 set in 2010 by Montera Hubbard Hart. 59 flat to qualify.
We'll see if we can get a number on.
See if, maybe someone pulled in from the second heat, Michael. And
it looks like another Oakland High runner in the blue with Mendez in third right now. Seeing could be Salazar.
As we're coming down the back stretch, we are at the 50-second mark right now. And here we go down the...
And we're coming down the stretch here. It looks like it's number 808, 908 maybe?
9:40. It doesn't look like anybody we had in the original first heat.
Yeah, I don't see any.
The time is about 1:17.
This is definitely Mendez in third.
So Mendez is the one we've got who is in. Fatima Andrade is going to win it in 1:17.56, so a different number than what we originally had down on our sheet.
And Elizabeth, we don't have a last name on her, but
Mendez comes in 1:33.47
so
for third place. And Elizabeth 1:21.12, and we don't have her on here at all.
No, but it looks
so
like
a late ad.
Elizabeth also was from Oakland High, because I see the blue and the white of the Wildcats. So,
well, it's an Oakland 1-2.
And Skyline taking third. But just like in other events, you know, Skyline still will get some points for that, I believe, just for finishing in the top 3. So they still get some points just for being in the race.
So now we've got, at least originally scheduled, Marina Salazar, Lynn Reed, Deanna Johnson, Jessica Temple, Jade Sims, and Kona Yi Wong. Salazar is from Oakland, Reed from Oakland Tech, Johnson from Skyline, Temple from Oakland Tech, Sims from Skyline, and Kona Yi Wong from Oakland Tech.
And we're off.
And we've got one lane. We've got lanes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 that were scheduled, but we've only got 5 runners. It looks like lane 4, perhaps, Deanna Johnson from Skyline not running in this one.
Looks like Jessica Temple from Oakland Tech's got the early lead. Big, long legs on Temple.
Boy, the toughest part is when you're going to get by the football goalpost here on the backside and you start to come around that last edge. And in the 400, folks, the oxygen debt that hits you at about that point is like picking up an elephant on your back and carrying it the last 100 meters. And you really got to finish that up in the last 100 meters strong. And that's exactly what our leader is attempting to do here.
And
that looks like...
Definitely Oakland Tech.
That's Jessica Temple from Oakland Tech, who's looking to crack a minute here, just a little bit over, but she is going to be your winner in the section. And then
second place, it looks like
that's very close.
Finish on that one.
Lynn Reed, 107.19 will be second, 101.58 for Jessica Temple. So she is your 400-meter winner.
So Oakland Tech takes 1 and 2 with Skyline taking third, so that'll help for their team points. But right away from the start there, Temple just showed that and that's the thing with long just strides like that, you can easily just take off.
And now we're going to look at the boys' 400-meter run. That was also going to be divided into 2 heats.
So we'll see.
Brandon Oliver and Charlie Vaugh were scheduled for the 400-meter for the boys, and they were going to run in the first heat. Brandon Oliver in lane 4 and Charlie Vaugh in lane 6. Oliver from Oakland Tech and Vaugh from Fremont.
So for the first time today, we don't see a Skyline track member running in
a
set
heat.
race.
Yeah, they'll be in the second one. We've got 2 participants from Skyline in the second heat. But we'll see if Oliver and Vaugh actually participate. Others scheduled to be there, Leonardo Zavala from Fremont and Kevin Cordova from Oakland, but they were scratched according to what their coaches told us before the meet. So it is Oliver and Vaugh currently on the schedule.
So we're just having a slight delay, waiting for everything to get ready. It looks like
And we had
another runner here.
very tired performer at the end of the event from the girls.
Looks like from Oakland Tech, maybe Castlemont. Do we have a, looks like an Oakland Tech runner. Might be, it's hard to tell. That's the one thing with track and field. You don't have the numbers on their backs like most of the other team sports, so it's a little harder to see who is running and who is injured. So bear with us, for folks at home.
We had a full 8-lane heat for heat 2, and now we got a lot of guys out on the track. So it could be they re-staggered these heats, or we're not going to have a heat 1 at all. We're going to have just a heat 2. Folks, you can get all the results of today's meet on AdkinsTrackWest.com. ADKINS, track, TRAK, west.com. All the results of today's meet are there, and we might have a shift and a change in the meet, or in the participants on Adkins Track West. So we'll see if we can get our producer, Finn Prendergast, to pull those up for us, so we see if we can get you some results as to who's going to be in this particular heat. But I think it looks like we're not going to have a heat 1. We're just going to have a heat 2, and that's going to be it. We got an 8 lining up right now.
And it looks like from our vantage point, I'm seeing in lane 2, it's matching up with our sheet here as Chin from Skyline is in lane 2, and in lane 1 is McClymonds Deshaun Shannon. That's Leland Chin, by the way, for you viewers at home. But so far, it looks like it's matching up with our paper, and I see up top Nick Ross from Fremont. So it looks like we're going to bypass the first heat and just going right to number 2. So
all right, so Shannon from McClymonds, Leland Chin from Skyline, Lewis White from McClymonds, Isaiah King from Skyline, Quincy Wesley from McClymonds, Ishmael Muhammad from McClymonds, Stephen Garrett from Castlemont, and Nick Ross in lane 8 from Fremont. Again, you have the option of the block start, or as you can see, Deshaun Shannon going with the standing start in the 400. Section record 47.55, set in 1997 by Tim Brown, not the former Oakland Raider, but Tim Brown in 97. And then 50.5 is your state meet qualifier.
Nick Ross right away, big lead, but here comes, it looks like, Isaiah King from Skyline surpassing Ross. And
boy, this is a quick one right now. They're coming down the back stretch.
And here comes is
this King? He's at 34 seconds currently. Again, the section record is 47.55. 40 seconds right now.
It is King.
It is King. He's not going to break the section record, but let's see if he qualified for state. It's going to be very close. 50.31, he does.
Going to state.
Isaiah King, congratulations. He needed to get a 50.5, and he gets a 50.31.
As Lewis, it looks like Lewis White from McClymonds, and then Muhammad also from McClymonds takes second and third, so that'll help out the Warriors for their team points. But King right away, it looked about 3/4 of the way, just came out of nowhere and surpassed our leader there for a while, who who was, I believe, Fremont, Nick
Yep.
Ross, and then just blew by. It's a good race there as
50.31 for Isaiah King qualifies him for state. That's the second participant in today's meet who is qualified for state.
so he will be going to Fresno
Next week for prelims and then the state finals the weekend after that.
So it should be good. It should be good for Mr. King.
Now the girls 100 meter. To be followed by the boys 100 meter as we will now move down to the left-hand side of the track for that.
And these ones are going to be fast. I kid
Blink
you not.
and you miss it. The section record for girls is 11.6 back in 1987. Rhonda Brooks, you need a 12.7 to qualify at the state level.
So as we're getting set, and it looks like, let's see, from the girls 100, we have quite the variety. Just Oakland Tech and Skyline again. So all racers from the good rivals here, the Bulldogs and Titans, well represented yet again. I feel like we're almost kind of like on loop or Groundhog Day, you know. It's
well,
like
a lot of these kids are participating in multiple track events, and some of them are also doing jumping events and throwing as well. So you've got a lot of kids who are doing some crossover work here today. And
all well-round athletes here. But a lot
no
of,
doubt.
I feel like, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like it's just every other event, it's Oakland Tech versus Skyline, which just enhances the rivalry.
And makes the team points all the more interesting, Michael.
Correct. But it seems like of late, so far, the Skyline runners have been gaining the upper edge on the Tech, the Bulldog runners. So we'll see. We'll see if that trend changes here in the latter half of today's events.
Well, Isaiah King did an outstanding job and picked up some big-time points in that 400 for Skyline. And Skyline and Oakland Tech are lining it up for the girls 100 meters. So we're moving everything, all of our attention down to the left-hand side of the track as we've got to get the blocks down there. We've got to get the runners down there.
And the 100's pretty fun, folks, for you viewers that might have not seen it before. This is going to be basically your dead sprint. There's no conserving it, no holding it back. It's just straight sprint to the finish line. So we are looking forward to that.
The 100 will be followed by the 800, and then we go back to the 300 hurdles.
As Oakland likes to switch it out on us, tease it a little bit. We go from fast to endurance to hurdles, so can't beat that.
We've got 6 more events to be covered: the 100, the 800, the 300-meter hurdles, the 200-meter run. Then we go to the 3200, the big one, 8 laps around the track. And then we complete the day with the 4x400.
No namby-pambies for that.
No.
3200 there.
Or the 4x400 for that matter.
Oh,
that is, and
marathon.
the relays, yes, those are fun races, especially all those relay races. And in that instance, with the 4x400, Michael, at the end of the day, we're not going to have as much issue with the baton pass as you would in the 4x100, where precision is required. You've actually got a little bit more length in the 4x400 to make that pass, and guys are not flying at you quite as quickly, though. You know, they're running in the neighborhood of 50 to 55 seconds getting to you. That's still pretty quick, but they aren't going to be going as quickly as when you're running the 100.
As we saw that earlier with the McClymonds relay team, that it seemed at first we didn't know if they dropped it or not, but they didn't drop the baton. They just happened to have a bad exchange, but it seemed like they held on, but it cost them a chance at state and even an Oakland section record.
So the runners are down at that end, but they're just missing the blocks, and the head coach for Skyline, who's trying to coach his team, Sean Coles, and also simultaneously manage the event, given it's at his school, is now hustling the blocks with the cart down to the other end of the track.
Now, as you see in the distance in your picture, you got some discus going on down there, and as we've talked earlier, we will have highlights of that. But let's see, it looks like we got our thrower lining up. Hooked it out of play, but as all throwing events, you got to exit out of the back. So looks like it's either Oakland Tech or Skyline, or Castlemont, I should say, thrower. And as she goes, runs, gets the discus. And shot put, it looks like the boys' shot put have moseyed on down to the corner there of the football field here at Skyline High.
We're going to have highlights up from the field events next
Good
week for
throw.
you on playonsports.com. And
As I say that now, it looks like a guy from Castlemont or Oakland Tech just with an absolutely amazing throw there. Brute strength. That's about all you need for shot put. Not a lot of real technique there. You just got to chuck it and let it fly. So we'll see that as opposed to discus, where you definitely need the discipline and the technique.
let's tell you who's participating in the girls 100 meters. It is Astaria Harris from Skyline, Astaria Harris from Skyline in lane 2, Brittany Jenkins from Oakland Tech in lane 3, Nyerin Buckley from Oakland Tech in lane 4, Kanakai Chigamba in lane 5, she is also from Oakland Tech, and Tran No from Skyline will be in lane 6. The girls are getting the blocks in. Boys 100 to follow. Only 4 participants scheduled for that one. Over 2 heats, I should say. 4 in heat 1, and then a full 8 in heat 2. So once again, we will not know who has won that event until both heats are complete.
So as we wait, it looks like we will have a good race in front of us. Looks like we are about ready as the runners are getting set.
Taking their marks. At the high school level, there is not a false start allowed. So if you false start, you're automatically DQ'd, disqualified. At the Olympic level, sometimes you'll see the one free false start for the race, and then the second one, you're disqualified. But here at the high school level, you got to do it clean. And this one is clean, and here we go. And in the lead, that is
Buckley from
Buckley.
Tech.
Nyerin Buckley.
Let's see if she qualified.
She needed a 12.7 to qualify.
I think they can stop the clock unless I'm missing one runner that's moseying down, but it looks like they're having some.
12.75 for Nyerin Buckley by
just
0.05 of a second.
It's a killer. I'm sure Mrs. Buckley is not going to like that when she looks at how close she was to making state. But nonetheless, she took the race. Very good competitive race. Her teammate right next to her was Jenkins from Oakland Tech as well, and just 1-2.
13.17. So Nyerin Buckley wins it. Brittany Jenkins in second place. And now we're going to have the boys 100 meter in what is currently scheduled to be 2 heats. In heat 1, Charlie Vaugh from Fremont, Jacob Bavoso from Oakland Tech in lane 4. Vaugh is going to be in lane 3. Bavoso in lane 4. Malik Lawrence from Skyline in lane 5. Brandon Oliver from Oakland Tech in lane 6. So we are now going to be seeing 2 heats of the boys. Again, it's Vaugh from Fremont in lane 3, Bavoso in lane 4 from Oakland Tech, Malik Lawrence in lane 5 out of Skyline, and then Brandon Oliver, lane 6, Oakland Tech.
So far, this competition is just like we talked about earlier, as it was been some really close races. I mean, we haven't had the real photo finish yet for a 1-2, but we've been, for the most part, seen a lot of close ones for the 2-3 spot, 3-4. So hopefully it continues. As we look down the line, the Skyline cheerleaders getting ready for their football season coming up, coming out to support the track team.
They're getting some last bit of cheering in on the school year. School's winding down, but our coverage certainly isn't, folks. It's just ramping up. We've got a whole lot of events this week, and we wrap up with the final weekend's worth of coverage here on PlayOnSports.com for the state of California. Next weekend, May 31st and June 1st. But we've got events today live, tomorrow live, softball, baseball, more track later on this week from the northern, the north coast, the San Francisco section, the Central Coast section. We've got baseball on Memorial Day in the Sac Joaquin section over in Sacramento and Stockton. So it is almost daily, folks. All the rest of the weekend next here on PlayOnSports.com.
I'm sure all these kids can't wait after they watch their classmates play some sports and then go on and graduate or go on to summer. So we are getting that time of the year where it's sunshine and people on vacation. So
or certainly, if not on vacation, Michael, thinking about it.
Oh, we're always thinking about it. Doesn't matter what time of the year it is. But it's winding down our school season as our boys are now starting to the boys look like they're starting to get set.
First set of runners up.
So I'm seeing a runner from McClymonds here in lane 2.
So we may have added somebody here.
Might be Washington.
We'll see if we get it on the official record here. They've got the names and lanes listed to our right on the scoreboard, but right now they haven't added anybody in lane 2, so it could be someone from McClymonds just out getting an early look at the blocks, or no, it looks like someone's lining up in them.
Yeah,
we don't have them listed, though, so it's just Bob, Bavoso, Lawrence, and Oliver. 3, 4, 5, 6.
But in lane 2, we definitely see a McClymonds runner here. You could also just be getting ready for the next heat, but I'm not even seeing in lane 2 a McClymonds runner. It's all the way until 4. So it could just be a guy just loosening up. It could be Washington or Warren loosening up a little bit before he has to race. But it looks like he may be going here. As you hear the wind starting to kick up a little bit, but it's been a pretty picture-perfect day. I mean, not too windy.
Hasn't impacted the running too much.
No, and it's just a nice, perfect day here on the School on the Hill in Oakland.
Such a beautiful campus. You've seen a lot of the trees in the background here as we're running these races, and you couldn't ask for a better venue. Though we're going to have a pretty good one later on this week. We're going to be at UC Berkeley for the North Coast Section Championships.
Not too shabby there in Berkeley, California. If you haven't been out, definitely check it out there for the track, Edwards Stadium. Also beautiful to watch a football game if you ever. And speaking about Cal football, actually, the Oakland commissioner is former Cal great Russell White.
That's right.
Running back from the early 90s there.
Who was a track man himself down in the southern section in 1988 and advanced to state in the 200.
Telling us how he took pride. He didn't win, but he took pride being Napoleon Kaufman, the former UW and Raider star.
Curtis Conway was in that group, the USC wide receiver, and ended up playing football in the NFL with the Bears. There were 4 future NFL players in that 200-meter final at the state level in 1988.
Just unbelievable. Unbelievable talent, but that's California. I mean, it seems like every year there's some sort of group. I remember when I was in senior year in high school, there was a kid out of Little Salesian High School up in Richmond named Javid Bess, who actually was the California state record holder. Not fun trying to catch him in open field, I can tell you that.
Reggie Bush was a star sprinter out of the San Diego section. Helix High School.
Nice power down there with Alex Smith as their quarterback, having some Bay Area ties to the former 49er quarterback. Recently now, Kansas City Chief quarterback. So
a lot of guys ran track who were football players just to better themselves for football season and improve their sprinting capability. But not only is track and field, which accepts all, I mean, there's no one who gets cut in track. You want to come out, you're on the team at some level or another. And a lot of it is about the community and participating with your friends, and a great event. It's an awesome sport at the high school level to be involved in. Those students who may not necessarily make the basketball team or perhaps get a lot of playing time on the football team or what have you can then come out for track. And be involved, and it's great camaraderie, and you've seen a lot of that here today with teammates encouraging each other in different races, even if they're not participating, or in different field events, even if they're not participating in that particular event, they are out there cheering on their teammates.
Definitely, and it's just a great experience and great just camaraderie and just great team atmosphere here. I mean, you know, also you got even the cheerleaders are ready. So.
That's right. Skyline trotted out the cheerleaders.
So, I mean, as we've talked earlier, it's just very, you know, and it's a good turnout. I mean, for a track event, you got the 6 schools represented well. I mean, I see jackets and shirts and sweatshirts from all different high schools. From everyone here in Oakland. So it seems like we're having
last minute instruction. I guess it looked like McClymonds, they were going to jump on and do lane 2, but now they're moving everybody off the track. So I'm not quite sure why.
Not sure.
Our sprinters are moving up here a little bit.
I don't. Honestly,
got another delay there. Are they saying they got him set up in the wrong spot?
I'm not sure. It looks like
our first group is Vaugh, Bavoso, Lawrence, and Oliver from right to left.
And that's who's on the track now walking as.
And now they're all moving down to this end here, so I'm not quite sure.
Maybe they forgot to check in, maybe? I'm not sure why they're coming down this way. But also all the other sprinters from Heat 2 are following them, so interesting development.
The blocks are not, so I'm not quite sure what the story is here, folks, is all the sprinters are
maybe something
moving down left to right.
Oh.
And everybody is, so I don't know what the deal is we've got.
The blocks aren't coming up. So
no, they aren't. I mean, we could do the 100 through the turn, but that's unheard of for the 100.
Maybe there's something wrong with the block down there. I'm not sure what.
But I don't know why that would
cause
constitute,
that.
yeah, everybody having to move all the way to the other side of the track. Well, an interesting development here is we have walked the sprint from its traditional left to right to right here in front of us. So I don't know if we're delaying the 100 and moving to the 8, or if it's just a check-in. I wonder if everyone didn't get their number on the side of their, that could be what it is.
Because it looks like they all went to the
they were called,
numbers tent.
That's right. They were called all the way to the start, but I don't know if they had checked in, so they're under the tent to our right-hand side and getting numbers on the side of their hip, which designates their lane. So while that's taking place, we're going to take a quick break here on PlayOnSports.com. You are following the Oakland Track Championships right here on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. Back in a moment.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot at
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
one shot at
One match away from immortality.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're going to try to dictate to you what you're going to do on both offense and defense. We're going to come at you.
One shot at this.
Now it's time to put the hats on and go get some work done.
They're all going to look to make a statement early.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're going to come at you.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
Back at the Oakland Track and Field Championships here on PlayOnSports.com. We are getting set for the boys 100 meter. The issue is that all the runners needed to get a number for their hip, which designates their lane. So they all had to march down from the far end to the near end here to go ahead and get their number and then walk back all the way over to the starting block. So they're starting to get back in their positions again, and they've been doing a lot of work going back and forth here, Michael, so if they aren't warmed up by now, I don't know much more they can do.
Don't think they can do anything else after all this walking back and forth. Should be nice and loose, ready to go.
It's put us a little bit behind our timeline, folks. We've just had the girls 100 meter as a refresher. Nyaren Buckley won that. Brittany Jenkins, her teammate, in second. The time was 12.75.
As the wind kicks up a little bit more.
You can probably hear that in the background. Meanwhile, the boys 100 meter is going to be divided into 2 heats.
So figuring out what's still holding them up, as they should be off and running soon. It looks like and the 4 of the first heat are ready to go. I mean, I see Oakland Tech's Jacob Bovoso warming up. So, not sure what's the hold up.
Bovoso was supposed to be in lane 4. He may have moved to 3, or he may have shuffled everything around here.
Because it looks like he's in 2.
So they've got, well, and they still have the original 4 who we had listed who are going to be running.
Because it's either Bovoso or Oliver, but I'm pretty sure I saw Bovoso at 9:53, and here you go. False start there.
Well, let's see. We're going to hold up here.
And he's out. So in lane 2.
Actually, he's going to go without the block start, is Bovoso. So that was it. So they're not going to call it as a disqualification for Bovoso. He's just going to forego the blocks. And we're off. And a nice break here by, looks like, Malik Lawrence from Skyline, but then coming back. And here comes Bavoso. And a nice race for Bavoso, wrapping it up there, coming in.
Actually, it says on our
And let's see, we
now,
got Bavoso 12.4 run. So
maybe that was a Bavoso, but I'm pretty sure on our sheet here it says.
Well, folks, we apologize for some of the differences here, as it's
well, Bavoso took first. That much.
Still a nice
clear.
race. So he comes in 12.41. To qualify for state, it's 11.2.
That was number 969 who came in last. And that is not on our sheet.
No, it is not. So
maybe
it's
it's
not.
963, Brandon Oliver. Could be 963, Oliver there.
Well, now
Oakland Tech.
We're going to get ready for our second heat here, and this is where you really get the burners. You've got Sidney Logan from Fremont in lane 1, Tyrone Campbell from Skyline in lane 2, Nick Ross from Fremont in lane 3, Levon Washington from McClymonds in lane 4, as is Levance Warren. He's in lane 5 also from McClymonds. James Lewis, Oakland Tech, lane 6, Thomas Logwood from Castlemont in lane 7, Jimmy Tran from Oakland in lane 8. The section record is 10.54 from Lamont Horston back in 1982, and it's an 11.2 that's required to qualify for state.
And it seems like even on this, they're a little miss and match, because I'm seeing in lane 1, it looks like a Castlemont runner, not Fremont, of the green and white.
That's correct. Logan was supposed to be in lane 1.
It looks like Logan now is
He's in lane 8, so we got to change. So Logwood is in 1. Thomas Logwood's in 1. Let's see if we can get this for you. Right. Lane 1.
Nick Ross from Fremont 6. So it looks like they that's probably what caused the delay. They probably
So James Lewis is lane 2. Washington is in lane 4. Warren
in lane 3.
is in 3.
Looks like
Kenyatta is in lane. Kenyatta, we didn't even have him running this particular race in the original listing. So a lot of changes here, folks. We'll try to get caught up for you as quickly as possible, as we've got guys in the blocks already.
Ross from Fremont High in lane 6. Kenyatta, we're still figuring out.
Sidney Logan is in lane 8. Tyrone Campbell is in
from
7.
Skyline in 7. So
we're just missing lane 5, and that's Kenyatta.
And we'll see. It looks like he's from McClymonds. So we got 3 McClymonds racers. Kenyatta is from McClymonds here, as I see it.
And McClymonds is looking to go 1, 2, 3. What a run by McClymonds, and they may not. In fact, I think one guy dipped too early on the finish line for McClymonds. That might have been Levon Washington, who thought he was at the tape and ducked it early, and that actually wasn't where the finish line is, and he may have lost out to James Lewis. Let's see what our finals are. As the clock's still going here, that concludes the boys 100. The girls 800 meter is next.
And it looked like right away McClymonds came on real strong there with all 3 of their runners taking 1, 2. Definitely. Don't know if they also got 3rd as the clock's still going.
Yeah, we'll get the results up here in just a moment, folks, and
as they should.
Everyone's waiting to hear. I mean, all the runners who finished are now heading over to the clock and
see if they qualified for state championship. They needed 11.20 to qualify.
Well, we don't have the numbers yet. They're posting the girls 800 meter participants who are going to be next.
And actually, Kenyatta is his first name.
Yes.
As I'm looking at it, we still don't know last, but he's from McClymonds. That's what we got. Might have been an alternate coming in. But I'm
Kenyatta
sure.
Jackson.
So that's Jackson.
Kenyatta Jackson.
Second from McClymonds.
But again, the results not up on the board yet, so they're still doing the calculation. Remember, they had a 8 runners in that last one, 5 in the one before that. So they got to recalculate and figure out who's first, second, third, fourth, and fifth of the 13.
As that's going on, it seems the women are out ready to go. As the 800's coming out, so we got Salazar from Oakland in lane 2. Lane 3, Demel from Oakland Tech. Lane 4, Martin Fields from Skyline. Lane 5, Lindsay from Skyline. Lane 6, Andrade from Oakland. And lane 7, it looks like Jonky.
Yep.
Jonky from Oakland Tech.
2:18:40 is your section record. Jenny Ray in 1982. 3 section records set in 82. That's pretty impressive. 2:23 flat to qualify for state in the girls 800 meter. Boys 800 meter to follow. You start out in a lane, but after the first turn, you can merge and get to the inside.
And on that last race, it looks like both Jackson and also Washington are both going to move on to the state championship with 11.12 and 11.16 as I glanced over, and then they take them right down as soon as they get them up.
I know 11.2 is your qualifier, so congratulations to those two for advancing to the state prelims next weekend in Fresno. And now we got the clock started on the 800, and they're going to shut that down because nobody has started yet.
Good showing, though, from the McClymonds sprinters there. As also, I believe they took 4th place. They did not quite make 3rd, but
that was that early lean from Levance Warren, who thought he was at the tape about 10 meters too shy.
Yeah.
And then lost 2nd place, or 3rd place.
I believe that was to the Skyline's Tyrone Campbell.
So more points for Skyline, getting 3rd.
As they wear the black with the red trim. Right now we're just about ready to start this women's 800.
We've got Marina Salazar in lane 2. We do not have Demel in lane 3 at the moment. Now she's a late arrival. So Demel's in lane 3 from Oakland Tech. Moraine Martin Fields in lane 4. Marlena Lindsay in lane 5. Fatima Andrade in lane 6. Caitlin Jonky, lane 7. Oakland Tech, 2 participants. Oakland, 2 participants. Skyline, 2 participants. And you stay in your lane through that first 100, and then after that turn, you no longer have to participate in the staggered start.
Right away, it looks like the pair from Skyline. Looks like
Well,
also
front.
we have a late scratch from one of the Oakland Tech runners, as I only see 1 set on there. See 2 from Skyline, 2 from Oakland High, and 1 Tech. So
that's either Jonky or Demel, and we saw Demel come in late, so
Jonky.
I'm going to say Jonky, who we had as a scratch earlier on in the meet as well from an event.
So she didn't participate today.
So in order to qualify for state in 223, they probably want to come out on this first leg in the neighborhood of 110, 111, Michael, on
Good
this
pace.
first lap in order to have a shot at qualification. And we're at 52 currently, coming down the home stretch on lap 1.
And it looks like just short of that right now is
Marlena Lindsay finished across in 109, so a good start.
and even her teammate here.
Moraine Martin Fields.
Yeah, she's right. Maybe a couple of seconds. She might still have some energy left towards the end. We'll see.
Well, we'll keep an eye on Lindsay, as again, she needs a 223 to qualify for the state meet. And right now, midway through lap 2, she's at 135. So in good shape. That was a 25-second split approximately there on that next 150. And she needs to do this last 100, Michael, in about 23 seconds to qualify. And
it's going to be tough. But our teammates are encouraging her there, and she's pushing it. Here's some more.
that was Neil Wessling who's shouting encouragement. He just did the 1600 a little bit ago. She's going to get it. 2:14, 2:15. She might even break the section record. No, a little bit short. It was 2:18.40. She's going to get across in about 2:21.
So she will move on to Fresno.
2:21.51. Congratulations. Another qualifier here from the Oakland section.
So that's Martin Fields who actually...
Excuse me, Moraine Martin Fields.
And Salazar comes in second with 2:41. And the rest of the field's coming in now. Looks like the two Oakland runners have... And it's going to be a tight one here for... Oh, here we go. She's starting to pull away as both Oakland runners finish third and fourth.
Well, Tech will get some points with that third place. But Skyline dominating this meet currently.
Or Oakland High.
Or excuse me, Oakland High. We'll get some for
third.
third.
Yeah.
Demel from Oakland Tech will finish fifth. And now we go to the boys 800 meter. And that one is going to be crowded. We got 11 runners over 2 laps. Girls 300 meters and boys 300 meter hurdles to follow. Here we've got Oscar Flores. This is going left to right, folks. They're going to line up 1 to 11. Oscar Flores from Castlemont is in 1. Adam Gardier, who won the 1600, is second. Christian Pescador from Skyline will be third. Norris Cooper from Skyline fourth. Jeremy Brooks from Castlemont fifth. Simon Filipenko from Oakland Tech sixth. Terrence Perrier from Oakland Tech seventh. Anthony Barron from McClymonds will be eighth. Jermaine McCann from McClymonds ninth. Saul Marcial from Skyline will be 10th. And Ishak Mohammed from McClymonds will be in the 11th spot. And those were the scheduled. And I don't know how they're going to do that in the 800 meter when we've got 8 lanes. You'd think that's got to be divided into 2. If you were going to do the waterfall start where everyone just kind of lines up on the first line and goes, then yeah, but they got to cut 3 of them out here, you would think.
Well, it seems like all of the runners went on there, so it didn't seem like they cut anybody out. I don't know if they're going to do it by...
I don't know how you're going to do that with 8 lanes.
Should be interesting.
Well, we'll see how many get going. We're off. And they lined up everybody, the other 3 in lane 8 behind Anthony Barron. So we had 8 lanes, and then the 9, 10, and 11, Jermaine McCann, Saul Marcial, and Ishak Mohammed also lined up in lane
Flores.
8 behind Barron.
Look at Flores go, get the early lead there as he neck and neck. Nice, starting to pull it, get a nice little lead. The runner from Castlemont High.
And Flores may have gotten out a little bit too quickly there.
Might have burned all his energy.
The section record is 1:55.24 in 1982 by Shelby Flowers, a 2-minute flat time to qualify for state. Flores has just been passed.
And now he's starting to get passed by the group.
Yep, he went out too quickly, and now we got the clock shut down, so we don't have any time that we're seeing at the moment. And now we've got a battle for first place.
Looks like teammates from Oakland Tech there on our far screen as the shades.
Is that Gardier again?
Looks like it is.
Gardier has already run the 16.
I'm not entirely sure who's the second one.
They're rebooting the scoreboard. I hope that doesn't impact the scoring and the timing.
And
It looks like Gardier, rounding the last turn here, has the best shot of anybody at taking this 800.
hopefully they have the mark up. His teammates from Skyline High and other schools rooting on their fellow mates.
And it looks like Skyline could get a second, third, and they're going to. So more points for Skyline. Nice close by McClymans. And with our results down, we'll see if we can get them off of the website, folks.
That was good finish by Anthony Barron, who did better than the previous race where he had kind of a rough ending there. So good to see the young man bounce back and have a strong finish. And here we go. Our stats are up. Looks like waiting on it, folks, so bear with us. Barron and so Gardner finished with 2:13, and that is just short of the state number needed. So as we're waiting, looks like Norris Cooper from Skyline finished second as the board keeps flashing in front of us. Trying to read some numbers for you folks at home.
Well, we didn't have time to get out to you, but Gardner in 2:13.38, that's a pretty quick race.
Yep.
Not enough to qualify for state, but
in lane 3, it says Christian Pescador from Skyline again. So Skyline takes 2 and 3. That's seems like the overarching theme so far today. It seems like as soon as if another school like McClymonds, Fremont, Oakland Tech take 1, you got a trio of Skyline runners right behind them.
well, we've got the 300-meter hurdles next. That will complete our hurdles, and that's going to take them a little bit of time to get the hurdles set up. Folks, we're going to take a quick break here on PlayOnSports.com. We'll come back with the girls and boys 300-meter hurdles as the Oakland Track Championships continue from the Oakland section. Skyline High School, right here on PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're going to try to dictate to you what you're going to do on both offense and defense. We're going to come at you.
One shot at this.
Now it's time to put the hats on and go get some work done.
They're all going to look to make a statement early.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're going to try to dictate to you what you're going to do on both offense and defense. We're going to come at you.
One shot at this.
Now it's time to put the hats on and go get some work done.
They're all going to look to make a statement early.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're going to try to dictate to you what you're going to do on both offense and defense.
One shot at this.
Now it's time time to put the hats on and go get some work done.
So they're all going to look to make a statement early.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot at this.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
The wind picking up here a little bit at Skyline High School, George C. Bliss Field, the home of the Oakland Track and Field Championships. Jeff Kurtz alongside Michael Cronenwet, Finn Prendergast, our producer Hans Webb behind the camera for us today. Alex Grant is providing all of the video that'll be of our field events, the highlights of our field events. It'll be up on our website next week. We are turning our attention to the girls' 300-meter hurdles. As if the 100-meter hurdles isn't tough enough, the 300-meter hurdles has got to be up there with the 400 in terms of the toughest sprint races. And the 300-meter hurdles might have a slight edge. At least in the 400, you don't have to jump over anything, though you do have to run an extra 100 meters. But this here is a three-person race, Michael. Kona Yi Wong in lane 3 from Oakland Tech, Kristen Robinson from Skyline in lane 4, and Haidia Burgess from Skyline in lane 5. Those are your scheduled participants.
And it looks like the Oakland Tech runner, let's see the paperwork here, Kona Yi Wong is not participating. So we have Skyline versus Skyline.
All right, well, here we go. In the girls' 300, and out to the early lead is Kristen Robinson.
Interesting. But I guess, you know, if you have to do sprints and jump over stuff, you know, maybe I wouldn't do that either if I was scheduled in, you know. She thought wiser on this one.
They're coming down the home stretch, and Robinson maintaining that lead.
Robinson very smooth as
Burgess is closing.
Good old teammate rivalry here.
One more to go, and then the short one to the finish line, and it's going to be close, but holding on is Robinson.
As they might have,
46.7. They both qualify. 47 for state meet qualification, and both of them come in under 47 with Kristen Robinson taking it.
So good for both girls as they will move on to Fresno.
46.71. And skin of her teeth, 46.98 for Haidia Burgess. Nice race.
So now we move on to the boys. 300 hurdles, and the mark here to move on would be 41 flat.
And 37.73 in 2010. Noah Blue is your record holder. This is a 5-person scheduled race. Kenneth Eve, David Uyong, Chris Russell, Anthony White, and Bomani Bassett. Skyline, Skyline, Skyline in lanes 2, 3, and 4. McClymonds in lanes 5 and 6.
And as I look across the football field here at Skyline, it looks like we got all our scheduled runners out. So I see 3 Skyline and 2 McClymonds. So it looks like we have, actually it looks like we might have a, no, yeah, I see it. The looks like one of the Skyline or McClymonds runners might be just holding the back of the starting.
Yeah, the blocks.
Just to keep it in place.
That's Wessling, who's been doing a little bit of everything for Skyline today. He ran the 1600. He cheered on his teammates in the 800, and now he's holding the blocks in the 300-meter hurdles.
A little team player.
No kidding.
A little Swiss Army knife. He does a little bit of everything today. As we not sure what we're waiting on.
Just making sure. I think all the hurdles are up. Nothing got disturbed, but you got to double check them on that last race. And girls and boys 200 meter to follow. Excuse me, Michael.
And also it looks like they had to add a couple of blocks since we have some more racers, but it looks like they're ready to go.
So again, it is Kenneth Eve in lane 2, David Ouyong in lane 3, Chris Russell in lane 4. They are all from Skyline. Lane 5 is Anthony White, Bomani Bassett in lane 6. They are both from McClymonds. The boys 300-meter hurdles.
And what's a little deceiving, again, is that one of the Skyline's runners there is in black, but he is not a McClymonds runner. They're in the middle of your screen.
That would be Chris Russell.
As he is wearing the black and red, and Russell right away.
Well, Russell's got the lead right now. Russell had a good thing going in the 4x100 when they had that issue with the baton pass, and Russell, though, has a lead right now. Again, 37.73 is your section record. 41 is your state qualifying time requirement. Excuse me, Russell hit the hurdle in the 110, and he hits a hurdle there, but he's maintaining his poise. He's got one more to go.
Let's see if he gets on.
Just barely, but he's going to get across, and he may
go to state with.
Yeah, that was pretty close. 41-24, unfortunate.
So those two hurdles he hit there at the end cost him. But he did take first this time.
And he does get points for Skyline. So it is Russell in first. Anthony White, 41.7 from McClymonds, comes in second place.
Must be a frustrating day for Russell, as this is the second time that he's had strong leads and he's gone and done well, and then just at the end he just has hit a couple of the hurdles here, and it's cost him.
Bomani Bassett is going to take third for McClymonds. So Skyline gets the first place points. McClymonds gets second and third. Nobody qualifies for state. We now go to the 200 meter for the girls. So the hurdles will be removed. The blocks will be moved to the far left corner, and we will have lanes 2 through 6 occupied, at least according to the record here. We've got the 200 meter, the 3,200 meter, and the 4x400, and we wrap up our day from the Oakland Track Championships. In the girls 200 meter, the state qualifying time for the girls is 26.2. The section record is 24.11, set in 1988 by Tanya Woods. Kanakai Chigamba from Oakland Tech is scheduled to be in lane 2. Brittany Jenkins also from Oakland Tech in lane 3. Deanna Johnson in lane 4. She's out of Skyline. Jessica Temple, lane 5 from Oakland Tech. Estaria Harris, lane 6, Skyline.
So right now we're just waiting for the runners to find their spots and the hurdles to get cleared away. Looks like the hurdles are all off the field already, except for the far end near the shot put area.
Well, and you for the 200 do need the blocks, so they got to move those. So they're getting them all up. I'm a little surprised. Usually at a lot of these events there are people assigned. There are actually athletes who aren't participating who are assigned to get those hurdles out of the way, move the blocks from one end to the other, etc., especially from the host school, but Skyline's coaching staff is doing a good chunk of it right now as we...
Almost like the guy who holds the kicking tee for football or the water boys.
That's right.
But it looks like, as you said, it just looks like it's Skyline's coaches that are doing everything.
Girls 200 meter, boys 200 meter, 2 heats. We're going to take a quick break here on PlayOnSports.com. Come back with those races in just a few moments, folks. You're following the action here on PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports.
one match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're going to try to dictate to you what you're going to do on both offense and defense. We're going to come at you.
One shot at this.
Now it's time to put the hats on and go get some work done.
They're all going to look to make a statement early.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're going to try to dictate to you what you're going to do on both offense and defense. We're going to come at you.
One shot at this.
Now it's time to put the hats on and go get some work done.
They're all going to look to make a statement early.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're going to try to dictate to you what you're going to do on both offense and defense. We're going to come at you.
One shot at this.
Now it's time to put the hats on and go get some work done.
They're all going to look to make a statement early.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're going to try to dictate to you what you're going to do on both offense and defense. We're going to come at you.
One shot at this.
Now it's time to put the hats on and go get some work done.
They're all going to look to make a statement early.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're going to try to dictate to you what you're going to do on both offense and defense. We're going to come at you.
One shot at this.
Now it's time to put the hats on and go get some work done.
They're all going to look to make a statement early.
one match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're going to try to dictate to you what you're going to do on both offense and defense. We're going to come at you.
One shot at this.
Now it's time to put the hats on and go get some work done.
They're all going to look to make a statement early. We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
Back here in the Oakland section, Jeff Kurtz alongside Michael Cronenwet. We're getting ready for the girls' 200-meter run. Boys with 2 heats of the 200 meters to follow. Let's go back and review this for the girls again. Kanakai Chigamba from Oakland Tech will be in lane 2. Brittany Jenkins from Oakland Tech will be in lane 3. Deanna Johnson from Skyline in lane 4. Jessica Temple from Oakland Tech in lane 5. Astaria Harris from Skyline in lane 6. The section record is 24.11, set in 1998 by Tanya Woods. The state meet qualifying time, 26.2. This is a block start. The last mandatory block start is the 200-meter race. The 4x400 meter relay, which will be our final event of the day after we do the 3200, which is next. The 4x400 meter relay is a block start optional.
And keep your eye also on Temple, Jessica Temple from Oakland Tech. She took a race earlier today, pulling away with a really long stride on her. So keep your eye on Temple as we look back. Seen so many races today, Jeff. It's almost
I know they start to blur together a little bit, and we've had some delays in there as well.
We'll get you folks at home. The girls 400 meter run.
And the 200 is an interesting one because you get some athletes who will do the 100 and 200 double. Others will do the 200-400 double. So we will keep an eye on that as Temple won that 400 with a time of 1:01.58. She's going to have to step it up in order to qualify here if she is your favorite.
Off.
There we go. And we've got 5 runners. And we got 5 on the track. 5 scheduled, 5 on the track.
26.2 to qualify for Fresno.
We're at 13 right now as we come down the home stretch. 16. Nice run here in
Trio of Bulldogs leading the way here for Oakland Tech.
22. They've got a shot at it. 24, 25, 26. Not going to be enough to qualify, but certainly enough to get some much-needed points for Oakland Tech in this team championship that we're also keeping an eye on here on playonsports.com.
As the clock continues to run. Seems like we've been having a few clock issues for the day.
That is Brittany Jenkins, who wins it in a time of 27.99.
And then is followed by 2 Tech teammates there.
Chigamba gets second in 28.41. And Harris from Skyline looks like she took, well, let's see.
Yes, it was.
They're going to give Harris the third spot.
It looked like Temple had it set, but I guess they thought otherwise. But it seemed like it was pretty crystal clear that the rest, there was a trio of Bulldogs and then Skyline. So I'm not.
Well, maybe there's a disqualification that we didn't hear about. They usually have a DQ up on the board.
Well, for the fourth place, we don't see a name. There's just a line, so I don't know who.
Well, now, oh, excuse me, Michael.
Well, I was saying the clock seems to be short-circuiting, but now we're moving on to the boys right away.
And we've got 7 who are going to be racing in the first heat and 8 in the second, so 15. And we've got some lane changes. Charlie Vaugh is going to go from lane 7 where he was originally scheduled to lane 2. Thomas Logwood's in lane 5, Tran in lane 6. Brandon Oliver is going to move from lane 1 to lane 7. We are underway. We'll see if we can get the rest for it. We'll certainly get a winner here, and actually we've only got 6 on the track. We had 7 scheduled, so we'll just tell you who wins this thing, folks. We'll do it that way. Your time, you need to get 22.5 to qualify.
It's looking like Logwood from Castlemont and Fremont.
Sidney Logan might be getting in front here and taking this first heat.
It looked like he did.
He needed a 22.5 to qualify. 21.61 is the section record, and it is a 24.8 for Sidney Logan.
24.8 for Logan.
Now for the second heat here.
Tran from Oakland took second, 25.04. Interesting. I didn't notice Tran with that pack. It looked like it was neck and neck with a Castlemont and a Fremont High runner.
Well, usually they stagger the heats where the slower runners are in heat 1 and the faster runners are in heat 2. So right now the time to beat for today is 24.8, but again, 21.61 the section record. Carl Horsley in 2010, 22.5 is the state meet qualifying time. And we've got these 8 runners scheduled to go before we go to the 3,200 meter. Alden Nelson in lane 1, Tyrone Campbell in 2, Nelson's from Castlemont, Campbell from Skyline, Isaiah King from Skyline in lane 3, Levon Washington from McClymonds in lane 4. James Lewis, Oakland Tech, lane 5. Nick Ross, Fremont, lane 6. Shaquan Washington from McClymonds in lane 7. Stephen Garrett from Castlemont in lane 8.
And I'm looking at it, looks like Emmanuel Young is now in heat 2. So,
all right, well, we've had some more
changes
shuffling
to the program.
And we've got Kenyatta Jackson running again. He is in lane 5. So, folks, we're going to let it ride, and we will see who wins this thing.
Might as well.
Yes, folks. Again, our apologies, but there's some late changes to the initial program. Some kids opting to not run this particular event versus other events. And so we're going to try to adjust and bring you the most accurate information we can. And with some of the changes taking place, best way to do that is to see who wins this thing.
But it looks like for the majority, it's going to be the same, as I'm seeing a lot of the same names. We got Ross in there, Washington, Warren.
Ross has moved to lane 2.
Some moving around, but we'll just tell you who takes first, second, and third, folks. So still check it out. It's going to happen here momentarily. So we shall see as we get the runners getting set.
4 more events to go. The 3,200 is the next one, boys and girls. And then the 4x400, boys and girls, completes the day from the Oakland Track Championships.
Let's talk about a reverse and a complete opposite. We go from sprints and the 200s all the way to now. Coming up next is the 3,200 for the marathon of the day.
8 laps. And that'll take a good 11 to 12 minutes to complete, at least. And we'll stay with you through all of it.
And as I look down now on the football field, it looks like some of the Skyline runners getting ready for that 3,200 are taking some 50-yard, I don't know if you would call them sprints, maybe a jog, I guess it's like a hybrid in between. Can't really sprint those ones out, but you
A
don't
sprog?
Yeah, probably a sprog. That would be it.
The sprint jog. Coming up with some new words here.
And we're off here.
The boys 200 heat 2. The faster runners tend to be in this heat. Again, the time for qualification, 22.5.
This one's going to be a good one, it looks like.
Here we come down the stretch. Nice job, McClymans. An opportunity here to qualify, and we may have gotten it. 22.5. I think we got one, if not two, participants who are going to get in there. 22.18, Kenyatta Jackson.
He's been impressive today.
He is your lone qualifier.
Washington takes second, also from McClymans, so good showing from McClymans again.
So Kenyatta Jackson, congratulations, 22.18, and he will advance to the prelims at the state level next weekend.
And this is the second race that he's been thrown in late on our schedule here and has won. So
it's
I
not
think
bad.
Might as well just do that entire. Do it in the state final. You never know. Just be a late qualifier there for the states. For Fresno, but impressive day so far for Jackson. It's kind of come out of nowhere where literally he just went from not qualifying to all of a sudden, or not qualifying I should say, not being on our roster and on the race record to winning the first two things I've seen him in.
Well, we have the girls 3,200 meter that is scheduled next. And the same three participants from Skyline who were in the 1,600 are set to be in the 32. Kathy Lien, Vivian Mack, and Lauren Yee. Caitlin Jonke is actually the third-rated runner in the section, but she didn't participate in the 1,600, and we haven't seen her for some of the other races she was set to be in either. So it remains to be seen whether Jonke will participate in this 3,200-meter run. She could have been saving herself for this run if she thinks this is her best event.
And it looks like on the scoreboard they're going along with the program, so it looks like Jonke is in the house for today.
Kathy Lien ran away with the 1,600-meter, pun intended, with a time of 5:50.82. So she is clearly your favorite in the 3,200.
As we continue to wait and see.
They haven't called the runners out yet, but
as people are starting to file away a little bit. We've had enough track and field for one day. But folks, don't leave quite yet. We still got 3 more races to go.
4 actually, with the girls.
With the girls 3,200
yep,
coming up.
Girls 32, the boys 32, and then the 4x400 girls and boys.
Which are always fun races.
This will be 8 laps around the track.
A good marathon coming up.
And the Skyline runners are ready. They're actually over by the pop-up tent. And they are ready to go. I do not see the Oakland Tech representative. So this will be Skyline, who's going to go 1, 2, 3. And the boys, which will have 9 scheduled participants at the moment to follow. The qualifying time is 11:45. The section record is a full almost 15 seconds more than that, or excuse me, less than that, 11:30.72 set in 2008 by Amy Cordisco.
And we're ready to go. Thumbs up from our start judge. Girls look ready. Let's get this bad boy underway.
Exactly. 8 laps. It is Kathy Lien, then Vivian Mack, and Lauren Yee, left to right.
You know, being here today at Skyline, I think Skyline, I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think they have an unfair advantage with all these hills and mountain that this hill.
That's right, the elevation. Are you saying the elevation is helping Skyline today?
Well, quite the mountain campus here. I mean, you're walking up and down hills. So, I mean, no wonder why they have all these runners that are just pulling away from people. been up here in the hills too long.
We'll keep an eye on our splits here in this 3,200.
Much, much slower here than the 1,600.
Yes,
as they're
absolutely.
conserving. So this one's going to be a while.
Yes, settle in, folks, for 8 laps as we look back at the 1,600 earlier in the day with these exact same 3 runners.
As Kathy Lien, again, huge lead as maybe she's a little more anxious to get this one over with, being she just missed the 1,600, so maybe she has something to prove and wants to get to state. So
25 seconds off the qualification in the 1,600 was Lien in winning that event here today. And she's coming down the first stretch and the first lap and has a nice pace going, Michael.
No, interesting to note, looking at a lot of these Skyline runners, they all have one black, one white sock. I wonder if they decided just to shop with pairs and double up and exchange socks, because it seems like I'm looking across, it's unanimous. Boys, girls, everybody has one black, one white sock. So
that's usually a team vote and something that you create as an opportunity for
individualism and a little uniqueness.
Yes, exactly.
To your uniform. Real interesting, though. It seems it's universal, too. It's not just girls. I mean, I see a lot of boys here with one of each. As we continue to go. And Kathy here is taking a large lead. Lien, as she is, again, like the 1,600 playing out, just Lien, huge lead, and her 2 teammates following behind.
Well, I'm working on getting some split times for you and what Lien needs to do in order to qualify at 11:45. And see if we can give you a good gauge. She needs to average about a 128 for her 8 laps. And she is slightly over that pace at the moment by about 5 seconds. So she's going to have to make up a little bit on that. That was lap number 2 that she's just completed, 6 to go.
As her teammates are still almost at a walking pace here, but I'm not going to comment on them because, they are running 8 laps. So.
Yeah, and if I went out there right now, I would probably barely be able to get 1.
Pull a hammy there after.
Exactly.
So
I think
power
right
to
now
them.
Vivian Mack and Lauren Yee would be smoking me if I was trying to keep up with them right now.
Can't argue with that. I mean, it looks like, but also you never know. Maybe they're trying to conserve their energy because they realize it's a long race ahead of them.
Well, and one of the keys is you got to keep a steady pace in this race and try to maintain a little bit left for the kick at the end. And you usually look at a kick, Michael, from, hey, I'm pretty close in this thing and I got to see if I can close a gap. But a lot of track as well is just racing against yourself. And what I mean by that is setting a personal best, getting a personal record, a PR. So
that is definitely one thing I remember from my track days was that at the end of the year, we got a graph, and it was like almost a bar graph where it just showed you your first meet to your last meet and see. Most of the time, they'd like to see you go in an upwards motion, not in a downwards motion. And a lot of these athletes, that's the case, which it just makes more sense because, they're running a whole season. You're going to get more in shape, learn some new techniques. So as Lien is now it's about 4:35, it seemed like, 4:30.
Losing a little bit off the qualification time. Again, the timing she needs is 11:45. She's completed 3 laps of 8. So rounding up a little bit, she needed to be at about 4:30 there, maybe slightly under 4:30, and she was about maybe 7 to 10 seconds off of the split she would need in order to make it go for a state qualification.
And looking up, coming up on the boys 3200, we have quite the array. We have 9 racers going, unless, of course, we have a few add-ons or late qualifiers or even no shows, which always could happen here, as it's happened throughout the day. We've got a wider range of Oakland High, Skyline, Castlemont, and Oakland Tech being represented coming up. As Leanne looks like she might even catch Yi here.
And sometimes you can use that to improve your pace, if you're starting to come up on an opportunity to lap another participant in the race, now you're chasing somebody as opposed to just racing against yourself. And Leanne continue a very good pace. In fact, it looks like she may have even stepped her pace up slightly. Let's see if that.
And as you're talking, Jeff, it might just be because she sees somebody in her.
Yep. She's halfway through right there in about a 6:10 time. So right now she'd be looking at about 12:20, which would be 25 seconds off, and that's exactly what she was off in the 1600. So
no surprise there.
Consistency.
As she passes Yi. And she's coming up on Mac, so maybe it might motivate her almost because she's seen these runners in her review mirror and also in front of her, so maybe she might put a little extra juice, get by.
Well, she has completed 4.5 laps, and we're at the 7:05 mark. So she's got to do these last 3.5 in 4:40. And that's going to be a tall order. And we'll see if she can use her teammates, like you said, Michael, as a
motivation.
Yeah, motivation, and from the sense of trying to catch them, even though she's already well ahead.
She continues to chug along, almost like the Energizer Bunny here.
Well, I'll tell you, her pacing is great. I mean, I haven't seen much of a change through these entire, 4+ laps now, coming up on completing her 5th. And her split now with 5th lap complete.
7:52 it looks like.
So she's got 3 to go here, 6, 7, and 8. And right now 3 minutes and 45 seconds away from qualification, if she can do it. And it'll get really interesting on these last 2.
But to her credit, she has not dropped off at all.
No.
And actually all 3 of these runners, for that matter, have not dropped off their pace.
No, they found a stride, and they're sticking with it.
Yi, real interesting with the real long hair here. Going past her back, as you see eventually in the camera.
Well, Leanne has passed Mac. So she has lapped both of her teammates.
You can kind of see she's starting to, well, now she's picking it up again, but she was kind of dragging there a little bit.
Through that shade on the backside. Yep.
It's probably a lot colder than it was there earlier today.
The shadows are creeping across the football field here at Skyline High School.
As Leanne's still chugging away.
Leanne coming to the end of lap number 6. And she's at 9:11. Now 9:15.
As the boys 3200 are starting to loosen up a little bit on the football field.
So Leanne is going to cross at just short of 9:30. So she's got to do these last 2 laps in 2:15, Michael. And
that's a tall order.
That is going to be tough.
See if she can turn it on right now. It seems like she's picking it up a little bit.
Well, she could see her time every time she goes across here. And, it would be helpful if she had a teammate yelling out splits for her at the midpoint so she knows, because it's difficult to gauge sometimes. You cross that and you say, okay, I got about 2:15 left for qualification. Now she's got 1:45 left. Not quite, a little bit more than a quarter of a way through lap 7.
Yeah, she's going to really have to pick it up here, and it looks like By the time she gets over here, she'll have less than a minute left.
Yeah, and that's going to be, boy, she'd have to run a blistering final 400.
Just sprint, pure sprint here, but.
And it just points to the 11:30.72 record for Amy Cordisco, who must have been moving back in 2008.
I mean, put in perspective here for you viewers at home, she would practically be getting close to finishing here at 11:30.
That's right, it's 10:45, and here comes Leanne. She is going to win this race easily. Still has another little bit over a lap to go, but is not likely to qualify for the state meet. But Skyline is guaranteed more points, and they are definitely in front here in the team championships, though we don't have any totals. There is the last lap signal, and Leanne crossed at approximately 11:10.
So 35 seconds to qualify. I don't see that happening.
No, that would break every Olympic record for a 400 by far. It would obliterate them. But she is going to catch up with her teammates.
Yeah, she's going to pass Yi.
I actually think if you get lapped twice, you automatically have to come off. But I don't know if that's true, or if you've got the option to just step off. But Leanne has been consistent and is going to finish first, and she's going to pull the 1,600, 3,200 double.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, then again, too, it would have been interesting to see some other competition from another school outside of her teammates that she probably knows all too well, and they know her. So probably the three of them from Skyline here all probably have class and have done this maybe once or twice before, running around the track as her teammates cheer on here in the final stretch. Still not a bad time, though, for the day.
No, not at all. Not at all. She's run a 5K. All these kids are going to run a 5K by the end of this.
Oh, man. And it looks like she's going to do it at 12:45 would be my guess.
Looks like it's going to be maybe a little bit more than that, 12:46 plus. So 12:46.16 for Kathy Leanne. Nice race by Leanne.
Put it in perspective how crazy this is. I'm looking at the boys' 3,200 mark. It was set in 2007, 9 minutes, 32 seconds.
Yeah, that's moving.
Wow.
That is moving.
And I mean,
John
not to
Chang.
take anything away from these ladies, but they've been moving all day. So, I mean, it seems it's going to be impressive. 10 is the mark to qualify. So, boys are moving there for the 3,200. As Max finishing up, Vivian Mack is coming in. Going to finish here in second. And her time is?
Actually, I think she's got another lap to go. She has another lap to go. Leanne was that far out in front.
I thought she was close to finishing here, but it turns out not the case. Vivian Mack has one lap to go.
Well, and just looking at the time for Leanne, going to figure out what her splits are, folks, and crunch these numbers a little bit.
And I'm guessing Yi has 2 laps to go, or maybe a lap and a half, I guess. Would be my guess here, as we don't have any. They stopped keeping track here, or the judges and officials who are obligated to do that, since the runners are not close to the display stand right now.
I mean, folks, for those of you at home who've ever run a 5K, Kathy Leanne would have run it in about just under 20 minutes. And that's a pretty good 5K time.
I would say that she has a bright future in the 5K
and
marathon.
And she was a minute off the qualification time So that tells you how fast some of these kids are running this thing just to qualify, much less win at the championship level.
The other thing, too, is there was never a drop-off in Leanne.
No.
There was never a time where it's like she started off hot, then kind of got tired and, chugged through. It was just completely one motion as Vivian Mack just finished.
Nice job by Vivian Mack, also maintaining the same pace. 15:29.73.
15:29, sorry. It just also shows you how much Kathy Leanne was just dominant over her teammates here.
Lauren Yee on her last lap. And then we will have the boys 3,200 meter. And we will get you all those participants, currently slated 9 of them. And then our final event of the day for boys and girls will be the 4x400 meter relay.
Let's see if her Skyline teammates can cheer her up a little bit and give her some motivation here to finish strong. As they're loosening up for their 3,200. It's a very subdued event. I mean,
well, it takes, you're running 8 laps, so it's hard to, that's not
a marathon.
That's not one where you can get the adrenaline going, and then if that tapers off too quickly, you're in trouble in that race. I mean, you even saw it in the 800 where some of the runners got off too quickly and they led through
burned out.
Yep, they led through the first 200, 300 meters and then ended up in the back of the pack.
So as there, looks like Yee is doing the final turn, and let's see her finish strong here.
And meanwhile, the 3,200 meter boys runners starting to congregate near the starting line.
They're probably anxious.
Yeah.
They look a little cold too. I mean, it's starting to get a little cooler, I should say. It's starting to dip a little bit in temperature than it was earlier today.
Low 70s, high 60s coming into the meet, but it is, even though there's still a little bit of sun, it's on half the field and the cool breeze off the bay has picked up some. As Yee is coming down the home stretch.
See her finish strong here. Looks like, I'm not sure if that's Mack or Leanne. And even a good gesture of sportsmanship as 2 of the Oakland High runners and 1 of the Oakland Tech runners clapped her in.
So now here comes the boys 3,200 meter runners out on the track. They don't want to waste any time. They are out there already. Yee is going to finish in 17:42.98. So now let's look at the boys 3,200 meter run. We've got 9 runners scheduled. Nathanel Tessafe is going to be in the 1 slot. Neil Wessling is scheduled to be 2. Andy Hahn from Skyline 3. Wessling also from Skyline. Richard Luck from Oakland along with teammate Tessafe 4. Oscar Flores from Castlemont 5. Eric Garcia, Skyline 6. Luis Almendarez from Oakland High School 7. Daryl Joshua Saturno from Oakland High School 8. And Simon Filipenko from Oakland Tech 9. And just like that, we are underway. That's our quickest from one event to the other we've done the entire day.
And I'm looking at it, looks like 1 might have scratched because I'm seeing 8 runners on the, not sure which one. I think it's Oakland Tech's
Filipenko?
Filipenko, maybe.
Well, we will see if we can figure it out. Wessling is leading at the moment. And again, an 8-lap race. 9:32.70. Your time from 2007, that's the section record. John Chang is your record holder. And you need a 10 flat to qualify. So everyone set your pot roast in the oven for 10 minutes. And we'll see how far that's done by the time these guys get done for the qualification time. Tessafe is pulled ahead of Wessling here on lap 1.
And Tessafe's looked good today.
He has.
I mean, he had one where I believe he blew the lead.
Finished in 3rd place behind Adam Gardier, who's not running the 1600. Andy Hahn came from behind to take 2nd and beat Tessafe, who finished in 3rd.
So maybe Tessafe has something to prove for this 3,200. A little more motivated. He seems like he's a little more motivated as he's moving a little another gear right now.
That's right. And Wessling and Hahn. Hahn is drafting off of the taller Wessling. That's not a bad idea. So lap 1 complete. All runners across the line. We're on lap 2. And Tesfaye with about a almost 50-yard
over Flores.
50-yard lead on Flores.
Castlemont.
Flores was one of the ones who jumped out quickly on the 800. So some of these guys are doing the 1600, 3200 double. Flores is doing the 800, the rare 800, 3200 double. I have never seen that. Usually the 800, the 800, you're on the outside edge of being a sprinter because you run the 16 or you are a sprinter.
To a long distance.
Yeah, so now.
Almost like your reliever who also starts in baseball terminology.
That's right. And in the Bay Area parlance, it'd be like having Dennis Eckersley start the game for you one day and then close it the next. And he did both roles during the course of his career.
He did throw a no-hitter there with Cleveland way back, who was caught by Ray Fosse. So all full circle of Oakland A's, Cleveland Indians baseball.
Tesfaye has completed 2 laps, and he's got a healthy lead right now. 6 to go. Wessling and Hahn, looks like part of the strategy here, are staying right with each other by design. So a lot of strategy being employed here as well, folks, especially working with your teammates, and if you can maintain a similar pace. But flip side, Wessling and Hahn don't want to let Tesfaye get too far out in front of them. But when do you make your move over the 8-lap race, Michael? It might be too soon to do so.
And as they pass Flores, it looks like they're starting to kind of almost sneak up on Tesfaye. But Tesfaye right now is...
He's put some big-time distance between himself and the second and third
Flores
runners.
Again.
Now, Flores, no sense needing to pass. I would stay, if I were him, I'd be staying right off the shoulder of Hahn, and that looks like what he's trying to do. And why set the pace and have them draft off you? But yet, Flores, who passed them, got past, and now passed them back.
And now he's starting to look over his shoulder already. It looks like I see his head move a couple of times.
Yeah, that's in lap 3. It's a little early to make that kind of a move. Meanwhile, Tesfaye has completed 3 laps.
Ooh, that's a nice.
That's a biting cold wind now, and
California wind kicking up.
4:01 through 3 laps, and now Flores has been passed again. And Wessling and Hahn maintaining a good stride. And they look like they've made up a little ground. Am I mistaken? Have they made up a little bit of ground on Tesfaye here? Tesfaye looked like he had about an 80-meter lead, and now it looks like it's a little bit less than that.
Yeah, it looks like the trio, including even Flores, is still in reason. Well, now Flores is starting to.
Yeah, Flores is.
But at first there, it looked like the trio of them were right there with Tesfaye in terms of making up ground, but now Flores is starting to fall behind the pace.
This is lap 4 right now, and it looks like Hahn and Wessling may have made up about 5, maybe 10 yards. 10 meters, I should say. Our final events of the day scheduled next. The 4x400 meter relay, girls first, then the boys. Oakland Tech Skyline in the 4x400 for the girls. Here comes Tesfaye looking to complete lap 4. He's behind that 10-minute pace that's necessary. He needed to be through 4 laps in 5 minutes or less, and right now he's looking at about a 5:30 when he crosses that line, and that's exactly where he's at, is 5:30. Meanwhile, Wessling and Hahn trailing him, and they are going to be, I'm going to say, maybe about 16, 17 seconds off of Tesfaye's pace. And 17 it is. And Flores has fallen well back of Hahn and Wessling. So 4 laps in the books for our top 4. Richard Luck has just been passed. And Luck is going back and forth. Here's our 3rd Skyline runner, Eric Garcia. And then we'll see if we can get our last runner here for you in a moment. As soon as we get a number, that looks to be Daryl Joshua Saturno from Oakland. Here comes Tessife, rounding lap 5, and he's losing a little bit of ground, and Hahn's starting to make a move away from Wessling here on lap 5.
Yeah, it just seems like they've been just playing possum almost. Like they're just waiting back, waiting for their time to strike. Tessife still has a good pace going, but it seems like he's starting to kind of wear down a little bit.
7 minutes across that line for Tessife, and we'll see how far. Hahn and Wessling were behind by 17 seconds a little bit ago, and let's see how much Hahn is made up here. Hahn is made up about 4 seconds, so he's only 13 seconds off.
And 3 for his teammate.
Yeah, that's
Wesley.
Neil Wessling.
Wesleyan.
So 3 laps to go. 13 seconds. Is that going to be enough time for Hahn to get back into this race? He's starting to stride it out a little bit more right now, Michael, and he's what was once an 80-meter lead is maybe about 45.
And Tessife looks like he's starting to wear down just a little bit more and more.
Well, he's almost caught up to his teammate, Saturno. And etiquette at the racing level is if you're about to be lapped, is you move to the outside a lane or two and allow your teammate to pass you. But Saturno not realizing it, so now that Tessife has passed him, strategy helping your teammate out is you stay parked right there and make Hahn and Wessling spend a little energy to go around you. Tessife is completing lap 6. Hahn has stepped up the pace a little bit. He has extended his gap between himself and teammate Wessling in 3rd place.
And as you say now, Hahn's gone into lane 2 to pass Saturno.
Tessife across in 8:32, and Hahn
right on his tail.
He is. What was a 17-second lead 2 laps ago is now an 8-second lead. He's made up 5 seconds on that last lap, 2 laps left.
It just seems like more and more Tessife is just starting to wear down a little bit. And Hahn's just starting to pick up.
Hahn's reeling him in. Slowly but surely. Like death by 1,000 paper cuts right now. Hahn is about 25 to 30 meters away.
Just starting to close the grip, tighten the noose, if you will. Coming closer and closer.
So we'll see if Tessife...
Getting real close now.
It is, yeah. Tessife, we'll see if he's got anything left. And can Hahn make up that much over the last lap and a half?
And also, just like we were talking earlier, maybe Tessife sees Hahn, maybe if he goes in front of him and then kind of kicks it back into gear like, wait a minute.
But it looks to me like Hahn's got some more to play with here in terms of energy level. And I don't know if that's the same for Tessife. Yep, Hahn, here he comes. He looks he's got plenty left. Is it going to be enough, or has Tessife opened up too much of a lead? He's glancing over his shoulder to see where he's at. He is going to cross with 1 lap to go at 10:03, and Hahn is going to cross at 10:07. So he made up another second on that last lap.
This should be a good finish, I think. I think it's going to be close. Can Tessife hold on, and can Hahn catch him?
Hahn has got to pick the right spot. Not too soon to begin his kick, but you can't wait too long. Let's see how much he's trailing. Tessife may have even stepped it up a bit. It's about 30 meters still.
I think Tessife saw him when he looked over his shoulder here in front of us and realized, man, there's a guy right on my tail. I need to step it up a little bit.
Well, Hahn's got to make his move right here. If he's got to move left, it's got to be now.
Let's see what he's got.
This is the final lap. Tessife, who had that disappointment in the 1600 where he led throughout most of it and then fell to Gardier and then Hahn, looks like he's going to hold on here. And he's coming. He's bringing a sprint. Nice run here by Tessife.
He's playing possum the whole time.
He opened up a big lead and has just enough left to close it out strong.
But Hahn's not going to catch him.
Tessife is going to be your winner. What a great strategic race by Tessife, who finishes in about 11:20. Hahn is going to come in at around 11:26. He lost a couple of seconds on that last lap.
Here comes
Wessling will finish
Wessling.
third. Yep, Skyline's going to pick up in second and third place points.
So, I mean, throughout the day, it just seems like it's a recurring theme that Skyline just continues. If they don't get one, they get 2, 3, or 3, 4, just throughout the day. So, and neither of them are going to be going to state, unfortunately, for Testafe.
Still a nice conclusion to his season after probably what for him was a disappointing, given he was the 1 seed going into that mile, the 1600, excuse me.
To make up for it, I think.
Absolutely.
He's going to look back on today and say, okay, well, didn't make it for the 1600, but I bounced back with the 32, which is probably much more impressive, I think, personally, just more laps there.
A good, strong 3,200-meter run.
As we're waiting, coming up next for the 4x400 for the girls, again, it's going to be Oakland Tech Skyline for the continued rivalry.
Oakland Tech won the 4x100, and if you look at the girls' 400-meter race, we had Jessica Temple from Oakland Tech, who won the 400-meter. So you would think Michael is the 3,200 with 1 lap to go from Saturno. You would think that Oakland Tech would certainly be the favorite going into the girls 4x400.
I would think so. But then again, Skyline, they've been sneaking around. They've been, every time we think, also it's just interesting to note is every time we look at this, who's favored here, it seems like it's going completely different in terms of who's on the charts, who's that, and also they've changed the lineup on us a few times today. So
that's right.
It's been hard to really see, but I would guess Oakland Tech would be the favorite going in. But then again, Skyline on their home court for the last relay, home track, I should say. So maybe they have some sort of strategy and plan in place and a little pep talk for the girls. As we're waiting for...
Saturno is completing that last lap.
And Saturno is the only one left? Yes, I see. Only one left, and that is Saturno. So let's see if his Oakland High teammates will clap him in. As he's making that final turn. And the boys 400 or 4x400 relay are starting to warm up a little bit from the team from Castlemont here right near the finish line. Be also interesting to note, let's see if they're in this, is the, oh yeah, they will be.
Nice job by Daryl Joshua Saturno, and a nice hand from the crowd here as he will finish up and come in with a time of just under 15, 14:58 approximately, and now we will get set for the girls 4x400.
And looking at the 4x400 for the boys, it'll be interesting to see if McClymonds, their relay team that had that real big blunder there on the 4x100, if they could rebound here and take back. But first, it's the girls, and it should be relatively quick transition.
Oakland Tech and Skyline. Oakland Tech is scheduled to send out Jessica Temple as the first leg, Kanakai Chigamba on the second, Autumn Randall on the third, and Kona Yi Wong for the anchor leg. Meanwhile, for Skyline, Tran No is set to lead off, Haidia Burgess in the second leg, Marlena Lindsay the third, and Moraine Martin Fields the fourth, with Jade Sims as the alternate.
And it looks like the Tech girls are putting down the block, so it'll probably be a little bit.
Just a moment.
As they've gone out of our view.
Well, you are following the Oakland Section Track and Field Championships on PlayOnSports.com, folks. Jeff Kurtz alongside Michael Cronenwet. Our producer today has been Finn Prendergast. Cameraman Hans Webb providing the live pictures. Alex Grant has been shooting all the video for us that we will be putting up on the website next week from the field events. Lane 4 will be Oakland Tech. Lane 5 will be Skyline as the sun starts to set to our right-hand side. 4 laps around the track. Everyone gets a shot on your team. The baton exchange should be a little bit easier than it is in the 4x100, which is a very quick pass. This, you have a little bit more time, and you got a lot of time to cheer your teammates all the way around the track. This is usually one of the best events, is that 4x400.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you get a whole lap, but then at the same time, it's a sprint. So you can't conserve too much, but you can't burn out too much. So we shall see as it continues.
So our officials getting everybody set up. And we are ready.
There we go.
That was a long on your mark right there, and there we go. And we're off.
Early lead by Skyline, but
Oakland Tech, look at that. Wow. Closing that in a hurry. Jessica Temple.
Temple has a heck of a stride. I mean, it's been on display all day. Real long stride, perfect for these type of events where,
well, one of the things you know is this is your last event of the day, so you can leave it all out there. Yep. Nothing to lose here.
On the ride home.
That's right. The section record is owned by Skyline, 3:52.35. Set in 1997, you need a 4:05 to qualify for state. And Oakland Tech getting a very strong first leg. Temple needs to get this in under a minute to really give her team a solid shot at qualifying. And she's very close to doing that.
Just got to put in that last energy. Going to be just over a minute.
Just over, and her teammates have got to make up some ground here.
Just leave it all out there.
They need to average about a 101 per lap, and Temple came in at 102.
Noticing the second runner there for Oakland Tech has a bandage on. That's looking, well, now it's
the tape,
right on the back of the hamstring, so that's not a good sign for a runner anytime you have something taped on your legs.
It doesn't seem to be holding her back right now, though, as Oakland Tech has opened up a big lead.
And this third leg looks like they are
each runner wants to average 101.25. Temple came in at 102. So Oakland Tech looking to close a little bit of ground here. Autumn Randall is next. This is Kanakai Chigamba, who's trying to close it out strong. They're a little bit past state meet pace. Chigamba's going to finish, and Randall's got to hustle. She's getting the baton at 2:10. They got to do these last 2 laps, Michael, in 1:55.
Unless Randall has another gear, I don't see it happening. But watch out, because Skylines.
Yes, meanwhile, Marlena Lindsay, who is a hurdler, and so is Moraine Martin Fields, who won the hurdles. They're making up. Look at this.
There she goes.
Look at this. Marlena Lindsay. Oakland Tech was way in front, and Marlena Lindsay is closing the gap in a hurry.
Look at the stride. On
wow.
Lindsay with the great stride has passed.
Holy cow. Now we're talking about Skyline's qualification. We weren't even discussing that before. That wasn't even in the equation. They're really going to have to burn rubber, though, here. They've got Moraine Martin Fields is going to have to do this in under a minute. Well under a minute. But what a third leg by Marlena Lindsay. Coming from nowhere. They were down by 40 meters, Michael.
Here they go. Let's see.
And Kona Yi Wong going to see if she can return the favor, but it's going to be tough. Moraine Martin Fields can fly. Look at that. What a turnaround.
That 3-4 leg has just been huge for Skyline.
Just dominant. I mean, Scott, we're sitting here talking Oakland Tech and how they're going to qualify and what they need to get in the last 2 laps. And
then all of a
Marlena
sudden,
Lindsay says, I am going to change the topic of conversation.
as they need a 4:05, it looks like they're not going to quite get that, but still they'll look back on this race and still smile as they went from behind and not even
What a comeback.
to just going to win it out here for the Titans.
What a comeback.
As our teammates cheer on.
Skyline with a big win in the 4x400, and you could throw that all on Marlena Lindsay. 4:19.47 off of qualification, and still, shockingly, 26 seconds off the school record, which must have been a phenomenal
impressive.
1997 team.
It was impressive, just quite impressive. Just the fact, too, is that it looked like for a while, Tech was just going to roll, cruise to a victory. We were talking about maybe state time and, seeing how far they were off the Oakland record, and then Lindsay just out of nowhere.
Yes.
Running like her hair's on fire there, and just blew by, and now we're on to the boys, our last meet of the day.
Our last event, boy.
Or event, I should say.
Lindsay did not get the memo that race was over, and a good thing for Skyline. Now for the boys 4x400, Castlemont, Skyline, Oakland Tech, and McClymonds. Running the opening leg for Castlemont, David Dawes. Skyline is going to send out Leland Chin, Jacob Bavoso for Oakland Tech, and Deshaun Shannon for McClymonds. Those are your scheduled runners.
As the shade's really starting to creep now onto the track.
Yeah, almost the entire track, except for maybe the final 125 meters, are in shade. And the sun's setting to our right.
Should be a good race.
So again, first leg, Castlemont's going to send out David Dawes. Skyline, Castlemont will be in lane 3. Skyline in lane 4 with Leland Chen. Oakland Tech lane 5, Jacob Bravoso. McClymonds in lane 6, Deshaun Watson. Or excuse me, Deshaun Shannon. Excuse me.
For McClymonds.
Ishmael Muhammad is actually going to be getting the call, and he is going to start. So Muhammad will get the 1 slot for McClymonds.
So a couple of switches there to our roster again, but should be a good race.
Oakland High School owns the section record with a time of 3:17.24 in 1982. You can see there were some pretty strong years, 82 being one of them. A lot of meet records set in the Oakland section that year. And to qualify, 3:25 flat for the state meet.
It's impressive. It's impressive how less time you got. 3:17 is the state one, or the Oakland record, and 3:25 to qualify. So let's see if one of these teams can do it. Here we go.
So we are going to get the runners on their marks. The final event of the day, the boys 4x400. And we've got a clean start. And we're off, and we're actually going to be running 3.
So it looks like the Oakland Tech team has fallen out.
Yep, so it's Castlemont in the purple. Skyline.
With the black and white socks, and McClymonds
to the outside, at least initially. Nice opening leg by Muhammad.
Big, long stride by Muhammad.
So breaking this down, 3:25.
Good opening leg by Muhammad.
Yeah, it is.
As he's
maintaining a good pace.
Never let up as he has that nice long stride.
Well done. Good start for McClymonds. And now leg number 2. And you can start to merge. You have to stay in your lane for the first lap. And then after the halfway point of the second lap, you could start sliding over.
As you see the McClymonds runner just do that right now.
Excuse me, after the first turn there.
But here comes Skyline right on the heels.
Well, we counted Skyline out in the girls, and I'm not counting them out here in the boys.
No, that is, according to ours, would be Davey Rambonas.
Davey Rubinellis. Yep.
Rubinellis.
Nice job, McClymans. Wow, good close here.
Should be a good third and fourth link.
Again, 3:25 to qualify for state. 1:47 right now on the pass. McClymans with the lead.
Smooth handles there. Here comes Castlemont in a distant third. Good speed on display here by Castlemont and McClymonds teams.
And now Skyline's starting to close that just a wee bit. This is lap 3.
You know, those black and white socks are really helpful there where you can really see.
Boy, this
is going to be neck and neck, it looks like.
It is, and this is where Skyline made it up the last time, and the girls was on the third leg.
Here they come.
And Skyline looking to make a pass. And they are making a pass. What a third leg again. What is it about the third leg in Skyline High School today?
Let's see what this final leg is going to hold.
Oh, this is going to be a good one right here, folks. The final lap. This is not going to qualify anybody for state, but certainly bragging rights on the line. You need to get 3:25, and we're at the 2:55 mark, and they're not quite halfway through it.
It's interesting watching all the runners just running with their teammates, yelling at them, encouraging them. A lot of the Skyline runners and coach down there. And it looks like Skyline, unless the McClymonds runner has this last.
No, this is Skyline once
all
again. 3 and 4 for the boys, and the girls are going to propel them to the culmination of a team championship and a runaway in the 4x400 meter relay.
That was impressive.
3:30.73.
That third link by Skyline's Chris Russell just put it away.
Well, nicely done by the coaching staff for Skyline. Sean Coles, who definitely knew what he was doing when he set up his lineup for the 4x400.
For both, girls and boys,
yes.
It was just impressive.
Wow.
As Castlemont finishes to the applause of everybody else here.
What a nice double for Skyline. Castlemont completes. And the meet is in the books.
As the Commissioner Russell White just showed, as he says,
put a fork in it.
I've had enough track and field.
And now we just await the team results, but you got to think this is Skylines right here. They were involved, at least from the track perspective. We don't know what happened in field, but from a track perspective, this is certainly, Skyline had somebody finishing in every single one of the events we covered, Michael.
Yeah, it was either Skyline or Tech, but Skyline just had more people and they had more results, if you will, as the Skyline team went to go celebrate with their runners and now head on over to the 50-yard line for the presentation.
Skyline is your OAL Oakland section champion. Congratulations to Skyline. What a performance today, and certainly a great way to end it when your team doubles in the 4x400 at the end of the race. The Skyline Titans host the event, and they're going to take home the Oakland Section Track Championship here in 2013.
Kudos to their program. I mean, again, I think there's a theory going on that these hills here at Skyline High have played in a factor. They got that second win for both the girls and boys, 4x400. And I think that second win and that field advantage has propelled the Titans, and also they've outplayed and outran everybody here. So, you know, maybe that helped. Maybe there's that extra giddy up they got on the hills here earlier in the school day.
Well, an outstanding performance for Skyline and all the athletes who participated today, folks. That's going to wrap up our coverage of the Oakland Section Track and Field Championships. Once again, I'd like to thank everyone here on PlayOnSports.com who made today's broadcast possible. Our engineer today has been Will Rigdon. Our video people behind the camera, Hans Webb providing all the live video for you today, Alex Grant providing all the video for our field championship highlights from the Oakland section, which will be up next week on our website. Our producer has been Finn Prendergast. For my broadcast partner, Michael Cronenwet, I am Jeff Kurtz saying so long from the Oakland section. We are back at it across the state of California tomorrow, though, folks, on PlayOnSports.com. A lot of great sports action and multiple spring sports coming your way from the Central section, the Sac Joaquin, the North Coast, the Northern, the Oakland, and the San Francisco sections. We're your home for high school sports in the state of California. PlayOnSports.com. Good night, everybody.